So, last time in Renascence, after taking a couple of weeks to recuperate from your ordeal on Montalban, the party was finally ready to take on their next adventure, bringing down the notorious pirate Ransal Blundbeard at the behest of one Vevi Ellen Kelly. They assembled on the docks of Mooring to await their vessel, the Llewellyn, captained by a friend of Evi's, the dragonborn Thear Thodundesh Lorkaroth, whom graciously asked that you just call him Captain Lore. They planned to land in Beddingwich and explore the town for a bit before committing to any major plans. And 3 days later, the Llewellyn weighed anchor in Republic Wharf, the waterfront district of Beddingwich. Quickly learned that roving bands of pirates controlled the docks and prowled the streets, extracting tolls from passers-by entering their territory, and decided to play things by ear. The party decided to take a two-pronged approach. It worked to set up a meeting with Stephen Pythe, one of the 7 pirate lords of the island and an ally of Ransal's, and then decided to explore the streets before seeking out a forest suitable for extraction via the Waylight. However, your plans took a strange turn when you encountered a hunky Triton in the streets. His name? Varys. His job, the right hand of El Shirog, another of the 7 pirate lords of the island. His hobbies.
Very pleasing.
I did say hunky. His hobbies include enforcing his lord's iron will and the occasional human sacrifice, as rumor is to be believed. Obviously, the play here was to get him in the sack, so Lauren talked her way into a meeting at Dead Man's Hill, his crew's hold in town, and we will be picking up there. The sun has set, and Lauren has made her way to the edge of the neighborhood on her way to meet this handsome Triton man. And Noelle, feeling maybe a tad guilty for bailing initially, has decided to run out and join her at the last minute. So slight retcon to the end of the last session.
Yes.
The rest of the party is still staying in Lauren's room at the Royal Colonial Hotel. Are there any questions before we begin?
What time is it?
It is after sunset, so it's going to be probably... Let's see here. At least 8 o'clock. Maybe 8:30, somewhere in there.
I'm gonna buy a watch. Later, tomorrow when stuff is open again. But that's on my list of stuff I want to buy is a time teller of a type.
Okay. Anything else?
No further questions.
All right. So, Lauren has approached Derek at the edge of Dead Man's Hill, and Noelle has just rounded a corner, catching up to join her as you begin walking into the neighborhood.
I will say, given that we are retconning anyway, can we retcon that I joined just a little earlier than that?
Okay, that's fair.
So
you are approaching
as Lauren
Derek.
is like entering, was it Dead Man's something hill?
Dead Man's Hill.
She would just hear Noelle say, "Lauren, wait up." As I run up.
No!
I can't let you do this by yourself. It's mainly my fault anyway. This is happening.
Hey, you know what? You might get some hot Triton booty out of it. So.
For the record, still not here to seduce. Still grossed out by human sacrifice, but I will leave that part to you. But
Okay.
I think that after Montalban, it's not a good idea to send people off on their own.
She'll just take a swig of her alcohol. Be like, what's up? This is what's keeping me
I have
going
a
right
feeling
now.
there will be plenty there to drink.
Oh, I have like a whole bag of holding worth of booze. We're good.
All right, let's go seduce a Triton.
fun. It's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be a real bonding experience.
I hope you're right.
Oh.
Sorry, what was the guy's name, by the way? Was it Veyron or Varus?
Varus.
Varus.
Vahras.
Okay. Varus. What are you humming?
He's probably just being fucking weird. Hang on.
So quiet. I miss the seagulls.
Okay, there we go. So, you guys approach the edge of the neighborhood where you can see that there's the small group of pirate guards sort of keeping watch at this main street. You approach, say Derek was told you guys to meet there, and not long after that, he appears. Says, "Oh, you did come. Excellent." And he'll begin to lead you into the neighborhood. So, now that we're back caught up to the present. The neighborhood that you're stepping into is a very dense, built-up, sort of favela-looking sort of district. All sort of built up this gentle rising slope that overlooks the harbor. Despite the density of the housing here, where they're pretty much almost just built one on top of another as you rise up the slope, just kind of like almost like large stones or stairs, sort of. You don't see a lot of people out of doors in this neighborhood. You don't see a lot of lights in many of the windows. This is probably the quietest things have been since you guys arrived in Betting Witch. Like, you can very distantly make out the sounds of the waterfront on the far side of the hill, and behind you, you can hear the sounds of Brigand's Boardwalk, which is still, a bustling sort of thoroughfare. But right now, right here around you, it is dark and it is quiet. And right now, it is just you, Derek, and one other Dragonborn escorting you guys up this rickety stairs and cobblestone pathway, winding your way between these buildings and alleyways towards what appears to be the top of the hill. Eventually, you guys will sort of emerge from this dense sort of urban sprawl on this hillside and find yourselves walking along this sort of curving pathway, much more open, much less construction around you. And you see that you're now sort of standing fairly close to the crest of the hill. Like, it still rises probably another 50 feet up overhead. And this is sort of like wrapping around this like upper slope. This path is. And all along this path, you can see that there are larger, nicer houses, small villas and manors, sort of built along the outside of this this road overlooking the harbor down below. And Derek and his companion will lead you past a few of these structures, all of which you can see the lights are on. And you can now hear the sounds of people inside. He will lead you towards one on the far side of the hill from where you're currently at, like the north side. So he'll lead you like almost a full 180 degrees around the crest of the hill. And you will find yourselves in front of this large walled villa. There are 2 guards standing out front. You can see palm trees rising up out of the front lawn behind that wall. And you can see lights on, and you can hear sort of raucous laughter and a bit of music playing from an open window in the main house, set a little further back.
Okay, Noelle, Lauren's gonna whisper to Noelle, be like, "Oh, thank God, I didn't think they were partying for a second."
It was suspiciously quiet.
It's very quiet.
Okay. I think at that point, Derek will probably kind of like take a look back, like, this is our hood. We controlled this place. And
So I did not whisper very softly.
he actually rolled a pretty good perception check. But this is where we prefer to stay. So this is the place. He'll lead you up to the gate, and he'll talk to the guards, a pair of very large, burly-looking half-orc men. Say, these 2 are here to see Varys. Figured probably make that happen for him tonight, right? He's in. Yeah. The guards just kind of look at each other and they're like, go on, and they'll push the gate open just a little bit, and Derek will just kind of lead you guys through. And you'll be led across this sort of circular walkway. There is a fountain built out in front of the house inside that walkway. Currently dry and not functioning, and somewhat overgrown with like ivy and algae. But that villa itself looks like it's in pretty good shape. 2 stories tall with 2 wings that seem to like reach out on both the left and right side of the building. And there's a smaller, either a stable or servants' quarters looking sort of structure like off to the side here, where you can see 1 light in 1 window and nothing else. And Derek will lead you to the main building and inside, where you will find a somewhat threadbare interior. It looks like a lot of the furnishings in this place have since been removed since this crew took up residence. You can see sort of the outlines of sort of a large curio that had been against the wall next to the front door, blocking the collection of dust there, and a number of other similar imprints along the walls. There's some kind of peeling wallpaper up near the ceiling, and a very thick cloud of smoke that just seems to stretch across the entirety of the first floor.
What type of smoke? Is it weed smoke?
Do you take a whiff?
Yeah, I take a whiff.
Give me a perception check, Lauren.
Okay. 10 plus 9. So 19.
Okay. You detect hints of tobacco, bit of leather, some... Nope, that's definitely weed.
There it is.
And barbecue? You think? Smells good.
Okay.
It's maybe a little thick for Noelle. I don't know how she feels about this sort of atmosphere, but
Probably tolerable.
Fitting right in.
it's an acceptable level of dingy. Also inside, on top of sort of the sort of vacant appearance of this this villa, you can also see, or hear, I should say, the sounds of voices, all echoing throughout the first floor, both off to the left and to the right. It sounds like down the various wings.
Laughter.
There is some laughter in there.
Okay, cool. All right, that makes me feel better.
You definitely get the impression there's a pretty sizable amount of people in this house, and as soon as you guys walk out of the entryway and into the first major room, which is sort of this large salon with a glass wall that sort of gives you a wide view of this garden behind the villa. It's again ringed by that wall that circles the compound. There's lamps lit and several people lounging in chairs and couches on either side of you. There's a dining table by those windows where more people are sitting, drinking, talking, smoking. And as soon as you all walk in, there's probably like 10 pairs of eyes that all immediately swing in your direction, and the talking stops.
Oh no.
Record scratch.
Yeah. She'll just be like, I brought booze. She'll just pull out 2 bottles of alcohol.
Immediately.
Yeah, just immediately.
There's a very slow looking at one another, and then all eyes turn to this elvish figure, very pale face, so pale that he almost kind of reflects the light of the candles shining on him with this. There's like an ethereal sort of like haze to his skin. It's uncanny. Piercing blue eyes and shaved side with this like blonde long hair tied back in a bun. He's just dressed in these sort of like honestly kind of ratty, like a tank top and vest and these like baggy shorts and boots. He has a cigar in his hand, and he just takes a long drag before he stands up and walks over to you, takes the bottle out of your hand and kind of looks at the label. This is not bad.
I only like nice stuff. When it comes to alcohol, that is.
What's your name?
Opal.
Who's your friend?
This is Luna.
What brings you to our abode, Opal and Luna?
Well, we saw this Triton.
And he was really hot.
Everyone in the room starts to snicker and chuckle at this. And I think both of you have a high enough perception to see, as you look around, the majority of the people in here are also women. And they all just kind of look at each other.
Got you too, huh? That's funny.
Well, you would not be the first to come looking for Varys.
Clearly.
And you come ahead of the game bringing drinks.
Oh, I also have feral weed as well, and she'll pull out a few blunts.
There's one girl off to the side who's like, oh my god, give me that. She stands up and snatches that shit out of your hand, goes back to the couch. They light that shit up immediately. They're like, oh, that's good. Come here, bitch. Come here. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
Okay.
And the mood in the room begins to relax a bit.
Except to do us one of their own briefly.
That weed and booze, man, is just like gold on this island.
Got y'all covered.
The elf will actually follow you too as you go over to sit on the, or at least Alorn as she goes over to sit on the couch. Noelle, I'm curious, what are you doing here? What is your?
Are people doing things like, or were they before we walked in, or is everybody just sitting there just blankly talking to each other?
So it looks like there are several bottles of alcohol open throughout the room, half of which look to be empty. Lots of tankards. There are plates of food that are kind of strewn about, half eaten. It looks like off to the side, like one group has got a card game going on one couch, and they've sort of just kind of watched this interaction before going back to their cards. But everyone else looks like they were just sort of like sitting, drinking, and eating.
I'll go to the card game.
Okay. So, kind of breaking off a little bit, sitting down. You see 3 human women playing cards. They look at you and they look over at your friend, and one of them asks this dark-skinned woman with like really like thick dark hair. She's got up in a ponytail. You just here to support your friend?
We both saw him, but I think she's more willing to do whatever it takes.
You're damn right. Just kidding. I can't hear that. But...
You want a drink?
Sure, why not? What are you all playing?
So, this Access Hold'em. Do you know it?
Do I know it?
Give me a history check.
What did you say? Disaxis?
Yeah, Disaxa. It's a region of Lythor to the north and west of the Emerald Coast.
Sure, let's see. What am I rolling? Oh, history, you said.
History, yes.
History, I do not use much. That is a... if I can find it. 16 total.
It's a poker variant. Probably not as popular in Aelia as it is further north, but
Something I've heard of.
you have a passing familiarity.
Sure. Can new people join, or do you need to finish a round?
You can deal you in. Ante is 5 copper minimum.
I'll take out 5 copper. Slam it down.
All right, cool. I'll say go ahead and give me a deception check. We'll see how good you clean up here.
So Noelle takes all the money.
I was actually going to say,
Oh, are you gonna lose on purpose?
I am going to probably lose a couple rounds to start,
Nice.
Okay.
regardless of whether I have a good hand.
Okay, that's fair. So mark off a silver then,
Sure.
and then go ahead and give me your deception
A
check.
silver in
before-
addition to the 5 copper,
just in total.
or... Okay.
So 2 rounds worth of bets.
Silver, and then deception.
Yep.
24.
24. Okay. Yeah. So one of them folds early, and the other 2 stick it out and lose a decent sum of cash. So we'll say that's. Say over the course of these games, you probably make like a gold and 3 silver
Oh, okay. Sure.
back. But yeah, you will very quickly determine these girls have been drinking for a little while already, and they do not have the people reading skills that you've got, or the poker face
Sure.
for this game.
Do you, I guess as we play, I'll just sort of casually ask questions about, like, you know, who they are, where they came from, like, not prying too much, but just getting a, you know, friendly conversation.
Adelina, this is Yanira and Alicia. Just kind of drifting, all of us, honestly. Wound up here.
Across the islands, or just
Working.
across the world?
Well, I come from the Simores. Elish is from Elthor, if you'll believe it. Long way off. But Ynir is more of an islander around here. But kind of a similar story for everyone, honestly. Not too different from yours. Turns out it's not a bad gig.
Go ahead and make money
You,
if you need it.
You looking to sign on?
We'll see.
Could get you some one-on-one time with Varys.
It does sound fun.
Elish will speak up at that point. It is. Don't worry.
You know, it's funny, when a friend and I were walking here, we heard earlier in the day that this was a very dangerous place to be. Is that true?
Can be. For the wrong people.
Who are the wrong people?
Are you?
Don't think so.
I hope not. It would be a waste. You're pretty cute.
Oh. There you go, Noel.
Definitely blushes at that.
Meanwhile, Aloran, you are seated next to this elvish man. He very pointedly takes the seat like right next to you and just kind of throws an arm across the back of the couch as he pours you a drink, hands it to you.
She doesn't do that.
So, Varys, caught your eye, like so many before you.
I mean, have you seen her?
Well, I've seen him.
I've got eyes, so.
As do we all. He'll take a drink. My question is, what makes you think Varys is going to be interested in what you've got to offer here? What do you have to offer here? He's very close. Like, fucking really leaning in.
Kiss him.
Just a big old fucking smile on his face. You can see there's like 3 other people sitting at this on this couch, and they're all just fucking like eyes just glued to you, watching. See how this plays out. Like their fucking blunts are just burning away in their fingers.
You're wasting it.
I'm like, I'm debating.
Did we get this guy's name or no?
Not yet.
Okay.
I think like it'll just kind of be like, what's not to like here, for one.
Give me a
For two, I
persuasion
have
check.
many hidden talents.
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. Oh, 14 plus 5.
19.
That's a good roll.
Mm-hmm.
Solid. The elf just kind of smiles and leans back a little bit, takes another drink. You make a good point. Well, I'm sure someone's already let him know you're here, so whenever he's finished, he'll, I'm sure, come calling. But in the meantime, you are a guest. Make yourself comfortable. Do you want something to eat? Have you eaten today?
I have.
Miriam! He fucking like just shouts, totally shift in demeanor, and you hear very like frantic footsteps scurrying out of a room on the right side. The door swings open, and this mousy little human lady, like probably like mid-40s, just sweaty mess comes scurrying. I was like, hey, yes, sir. Bring some food for our guests. They have arrived. They are hungry. We only have grass and drink out here. What have you been doing all day? Go, 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 go! And she just like, yes, sir, I'm sorry. And she fucking runs into the kitchen. You cannot find good help these days, I swear to God. Well, to a festive evening. About 10 minutes later, Miriam will come back out with a plate of food and just like set that down in front of you and Noelle, where you're playing cards, Noelle, and just immediately back into the kitchen.
So I'll say thank you as she sets it down.
You don't have to. That's not necessary. It's our job. It's our job.
Still nice to be appreciated for one's talents. And she'll say it kind of coyly. Like, I don't know.
Miriam is not talented.
Okay. I don't like this old guy.
These guys seem kind of evil.
Well, they seem kind of shitty. Weird.
Whoa, what's going on there?
So you guys are in.
Yep.
What is your plan here exactly? Because right now, Noelle's sort of wrapped up in conversation, playing cards. Aloran, you've got the full attention of this elvish man who seems to kind of hold court down here, as well as the others on the couch.
Who he is.
I'm Elisaren. I manage things around the house, for Varys.
Gotcha.
Now, mind you, if you're good, you might get to stay here too. But I won't lie to you, if Varys is not impressed, you may wind up in one of the other houses down the street, which, is not bad, but...
Well,
What if I don't want to live here?
I'm like, it's like, she'll just be like, I have friends waiting for me.
Oh, you have friends? Where are they? Why did you not bring your friends?
Well, my friends here, my other friends don't like this type of stuff, so.
They do not sound like very good friends.
The worst.
They're pretty lovable.
Noel just chimes in across the room. Just the worst.
There's no air in this conversation, but fair.
That's funny.
No, they're staying in my room right now. My room. So. Waiting.
That's right. Derek said you've got a room down at the Colonial, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. So you got money.
Not much.
Not much.
No.
Be real with me. How hard up are you that you're coming to pirates? How hard up are you that you're coming to us?
Okay. Out of character. I'm dumb. What the fuck does that mean?
Hard up just
My
means,
brain.
like, how poor are you?
How hard are you? How hard up are you?
How hard are you?
How bad are things? How hard are you right now? Scale of 1 to 10. How hard up are you for cash?
How bad is it for you that you're coming to pirates to get money?
Be like, I'm here to party. That's what I'm here to do. So, living my best life.
Just to party. Derek says here you are looking for maybe a little more.
Who said that?
You look over to Derek, who's just kind of been standing in a corner, like just watching, and he'll just give you a small thumbs up, like, yeah.
Well, he was definitely not correct in that statement.
No.
No.
You look back to Derek, he's just like, what are you doing? Shut the fuck up.
I mean, I'm here to have a good time, and I can guarantee a good time.
So you are really just here looking for a quick night with Varys, then?
Is that a problem? Uh-oh. Sorry, Noel. I fucked up. I didn't want to be a prostitute.
It's all gone to
Sorry.
shit. We just had one wrong thing.
He'll just kind of raise his eyebrows and say, "Look, what are you charging?"
You gonna lead into it,
I get
Lauren?
it. I get it. People come to this island, they hear, "Oh, there's money all over Betting Witch. We come for money." And fine, you're a beautiful woman. I'm sure you're good at your job. So I'm asking you, how much are you charging? I'm sure Varys will have a wonderful time regardless. We can handle your fare on the way out.
Lauren's like, look at Luna like, I don't know if she sees me, but I'm over there like, what is happening?
I don't have any context for this, so I'll just like hold up the gold that I won, like.
And she's like, literally gonna
Thumbs
be,
up.
like,
I mean, out of character, this guy's rich as fuck, so if you wanted to get free money, this is an opportunity to do so.
I feel like this is
Contingent
a
on a
low,
good
though.
deception check.
My rates are pretty high.
I'm sure Varys can afford them.
Okay.
What are you asking?
This is great because like our concept of money is freaking skewed.
No idea what's a lot.
Would a Lauren know, like, what a prostitute would charge normally?
Has she not said before?
Give me an intelligence check, Lord.
She did work at that smoke den, like, right?
That's
did.
true. With advantage. Good point.
Okay, so first roll was a 17. Second roll was a 4. So 17 plus intelligence. Just like regular intelligence?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be 18 in total.
18 in total. Okay. The Smoked Inn was not the most high end of establishments. Most charges were in the 1 to 3 gold range.
50 gold.
Are you trolling? Or is that actually what you say?
I don't know.
Go for it. See what happens.
No, 50 gold. 50 gold. Do I need to make a persuasion check?
Yeah, with disadvantage. Because he's like, spits out like chunks on his drink.
No, tell him you were trolling him. Tell him you were trolling him.
So my first roll was a nat 20. And my second roll was a 13.
Okay.
So that still makes it an 18.
18. He is like very frantically, like he's turned away, he's like wiping his face off, clearly does not want you to see him. Like you got to him. He fucking whips back around to you, like fucking like squinting, scrutinizing you, and you've just got this like cool, calm, collected expression on your face. 45.
50. I don't haggle my rates.
Out.
Be a really funny way to end this.
Fine.
Does this ass look like it can haggle?
Yeah, right? Do you think these are haggling?
He is just like scrutinizing, but he's like, fine, 50. I better hear good things from you in the morning.
Part of me wants to be like, I'm just kidding, I don't want money.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
just
forgot that if you set your rates super high, you're gonna have to blow his mind. But
Or be willing to do some pretty questionable stuff.
She rolls an at 1. +2. She was terrible. What is this shit?
Well, Miss Opal, was it? I'm sure Varys will be ready for you soon, so enjoy the rest of your evening. He will stand up, throw back the last of his drink, and head back over to the table where he was talking to a handful of the crew here. There's a couple occasional glances back over at her and at Noelle as well, but they more or less leave you alone after that, and you're sort of just kind of left to lounge on the couch next to the Dragonborn and the half-orc that were watching this entire exchange, fucking just...
What's their expression? Is it like disbelief?
You've got some fucking balls, girl.
What you mean?
I haven't seen a lot of people stand up to Elle like that. Said it was 50 gold. Excuse me for a second. He's gonna stand up and leave the room.
Needs to go break his piggy
I'm
bank.
gonna walk out of this place fucking rich. She's like, no, well, I fucked like 10 guys, but I have 500 gold.
Noelle, I broke
Walking
D&D.
ready tomorrow.
It's probably another 10 minutes passes before he comes back, and he doesn't sit back down in his cushion. He goes over to the table and just kind of sits down and starts talking to Elisar, and he very pointedly avoids making eye contact with you for the rest of the night. Probably about 10 minutes after that, you guys have been sort of milling about, playing cards, drinking, making small talk. Eventually...
Lauren's getting high with Kite, by the way.
Or is she?
Oh, yeah.
I'll
Especially
say...
after that. She's kind of laughing in her head about this whole thing.
Okay. I'll say give me a Constitution saving throw.
I'm just getting high.
You're getting high as a kite, were your exact words.
Okay. I'm just smoking one blunt, which is not unusual for Lauren.
Okay. I thought we were specifying this was higher than usual.
No. Sorry. My
Okay.
bad.
Never mind. So, about 10 minutes pass after he returns to the room. Noelle, you're cleaning these girls out over here, and after a certain point, they're just like, "You are too fucking good at this. You should be down at the Riviera. You could make some fucking bank down there, girl."
I spent a lot of time playing games. What is the... Sorry, out of character. What is the coast with all the elves that's on the other side of Lythor?
Inigard.
Inigard. Spent a lot of time in Inigard. Taking a lot of people's money.
Oh, you've got a knack for it.
It comes with practice.
Pro tip, Riviera. They've got tables. Big money tables.
I'll keep that in mind.
At that point, this very large, heavy step orc man comes into this lounge area, and you would have heard his steps coming down the stairs before he arrived. Really big fucking guy, broad-shouldered, like scar over one eye, and shaved head. Looks around. Opal, Luna, he's ready for you. This way.
I got this.
I was gonna say, could I go up to this? Is an orc, you said?
Yep.
I'll just say to him, actually, we talked about it. We think Opal's going to go tonight, and perhaps tomorrow will be my turn, if that's all right with him.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
It succeeds.
25.
Yeah. I'll let him know. Opal, this way. He will lead you out. As you're leaving, you just see Elisaren over at the table, like looks back at you one last time, just takes a deep, like frustrated drag off of his cigar, and just kind of like puts his head in his hands. But the girls that Noelle is playing with are just kind of like, have fun. And that half-orc who joined the table with Elisaren is just like grumbling. So you follow this orc out, back into the foyer, and up these stairs off to the side, and heading up to the second story. The smokiness sort of starts to fade away a little bit. But weirdly, that barbecue smell starts to get, like, stronger as you head upstairs.
Wait, a girl didn't come back, did they?
Nobody came downstairs. No, it was just the orc.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just clarifying.
You would have seen like a couple people sort of heading in and out of the foyer from the living room after you guys arrived, and at this point, presumably passing messages to Varys. But yeah, you wouldn't have seen anybody strange or new come down the stairs beyond this orc. And he will lead you upstairs. And on the landing here, there are 4 doors. One at either end of the hallway, and then 2 next to each other, it looks like, sort of leading into two sets of double doors. And he'll lead you towards the doors on the left. Do it.
Real quick, before I leave, I'm going to leave my money bag with Noelle.
Okay.
The bag of savings.
Just as a... Yeah, my bag of savings.
Okay.
Sure.
So, he leads you up to the double doors and just sort of stops in front of him. He said, "In here."
Thank you.
He'll just lean against the wall next to the doors and cross his arms.
You have the best job, don't you?
It's great.
There, buddy. And she'll just pat his shoulder. And she'll give him a bottle of alcohol.
He will take the bottle and just sort of hold it, but will not react any further than that.
Okay. She'll go in then.
Okay.
I feel like that's a position where you want booze.
So stepping inside, you find yourself in what looks to be almost like a self-contained sort of like apartment suite. This master bedroom with sort of a sitting area immediately in front of the doorway. Tile floor with carpeting under this big 4-poster bed off to the side. This looks like the only like nice maintained furniture in the villa. Everything else is like very ratty and smoke stained. But in here, it's very clean, very pristine. And standing at the foot of the bed, facing this armoire with a mirror, currently occupied with something in his hands, you can see the back of this tall, trim, deep blue Triton figure.
She gives him a good look-see. And she's also trying to see what's in his hand.
Give me a perception check.
9 plus 9, so 18.
18.
I swear everything I'm rolling is just turning into an 18.
18's pretty good.
Yeah.
It works.
So I think as you step inside and the door closes behind you, he sort of glances over his shoulder, and for a moment you can see what looks to be this glint of steel in his hands. But he very quickly sets it down on the counter behind him as he turns to face you and drops this handcloth over it. And he just sort of clasps his hands. So which one are you?
Opal. Opal.
Sort of looks you over. Opal. What can I do for you tonight?
I'm just here to have a good time. So,
I was told you were interested in our outfit here. Was Derek mistaken in that assumption?
yes. I just hang here because I saw you're a tall glass of water. And it made me a little thirsty.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh god. So big when I roll really low. 19 plus 5.
Sweet.
You definitely see a faint smile kind of play at the corner of the lips, and the eyebrows kind of shoot up. Is that so?
Oh yeah.
Well, have a seat, Opal. If you'll excuse me for one moment, I need to wash up. And he's gonna pretty steadily just kind of walk past you towards the what looks to be the bathroom door that is basically right next to the double doors you just came in. And he will quickly kind of close that behind him, and you'll hear a sink turn on. You're sort of left alone in the room for a moment.
I really want to take a peek under that cloth, but I also feel like that could be very bad.
It's up to you.
No, I'm not gonna risk it. We're in the middle of like a pirate. I'm good.
You've been rolling so well, inevitably one of these is going to be bad.
Exactly, and that's gonna be the one.
You roll a 1 to look under the cloth, it strangles you and you die. What do you think is going to happen?
I don't fucking know. I touch it, and then he instantly knows because it's another fucking Willem dagger. He's like, there is someone who's looking at me. They're being naughty in the room when you're not in here. Go kill them.
Oh, no. Evil dagger.
Oh.
You just going to leave it? Just going to sit down?
Yep. I'm not doing this to us, Noel. Not gonna get us killed.
Okay. I think after probably a good solid 5 minutes of
Damn, I could have done it.
hand washing. He's in there for a while. You can if you really want to.
No.
Okay.
No.
So after 5 minutes, he finally comes out. A second hand towel that he's now drying his hands with. Well, Miss Opal, can I get you a drink? Or have you had your fill for the night already?
One more won't hurt.
He will head over to liquor cabinet, pour a couple drinks, come back to the chairs, set one down on the table in front of you. And I think what follows is probably like a pretty low-key conversation, kind of asking you, so where are you from? What brings you to Daggermore? I've never seen you here. That kind of thing. He's making some small talk. Uh-oh, somebody posted some shit. God damn.
Opal the hooker and her emotional support
The
part.
emotional support part. I love that.
That's fantastic.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
That's amazing.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for.
That's why she's so expensive.
She's
25
got to
gold
pay
each.
2 people's wages. Yeah.
Noelle just becomes a Lauren simp. Oh my god.
So he starts some small talk and starts trying to get a little bit, to know you. What brings you to Betting Witch? Where are you from? That kind of thing. How old are you? You will notice slips into the conversation at one point. How are you wanting to play this? What is your tact?
We'll just go with some kind of bare minimum details, and then she'll just tell him like her age.
Okay. And are we being straightforward, or are we being deceptive? Are we concealing information?
Well, I'm not telling him who I am. So
Obviously.
if that's deceptive, then...
I'm asking just to clarify how much of this is going to be forthright and how much is deception.
It'll be probably like a mixture.
Just a bit mixed details.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mix a little lie with the truth so that it's
more believable.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll say go ahead and make a deception check with advantage. Since you are not wholly deceiving and are weaving elements of truth in there. Just to...
Okay. I'd also like to see if he likes to smoke. Oh, thank God for that. Ooh.
Sketch.
My first roll was a 3.
Ooh.
3.
My second roll was a 17.
That would have
plus
been
2.
bad.
That would have been Akko.
19.
That would have been
Tiny
real
bit
bad.
Akko. 17, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
A 17 plus 9.
Plus 9
The
for
deception?
persuasion?
No, plus 2. 19.
The
Sorry.
deception?
Sorry.
Excuse me.
19.
19. Okay. 19 is good. You will definitely notice over the course of this conversation, like, he's very, like, calm and collected and casual with his conduct here, but there is definitely, like, an intense kind of scrutinizing happening over the course of this conversation. And he's drinking very slowly. He turns you down when you offer weed. He's not much of a smoker, as far as you can tell. And
I'll just put it back then.
over the course of this conversation of getting to know you, the demeanor does not change too much. He definitely seems intrigued by this random caller, but you don't get the sense that he suspects there's any more to it than that. And
Well, technically, there's not. She literally just wants to think.
this is true. He will eventually start to grow more suggestive over the course of the conversation, and you get the sense that he's biting. So if you're looking to get down with this, then
Let's do it.
cool.
I'm ready.
So I guess go ahead and give me a performance roll.
That's what it all comes down to.
That's a happy kitty face. Oh, you can't see it. It's a happy kitty face.
Oh, is that in that 20?
That's an at 20.
That's Opal the hooker.
So that's a 22 in total.
Noelle, with your heightened perception, you would definitely detect the faint sounds of thumping furniture overhead at some point.
That sounds like they're having fun.
No one needed to know that.
With a 21, Varys also performs very well. Noelle, or Lauren. Everyone knows. Everyone fucking knows.
She's so loud. We already established this in a previous session.
Yeah. The elf, you do occasionally notice, like, kind of glances up and it's like, damn. Like, listening.
Imagine being one room over from her.
I don't think I could stay in that room for long. But yeah, so, Alorn, you have somehow talked your way into a night with this hot, hunky Triton man.
Yes. Success.
Cool. What are you planning to do with the rest of your night from here as you guys clean yourselves up and begin to wash up?
Well, definitely came to the right place, so thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. If you need to wash up in the bathroom before you go, you may.
I would. And she'll go.
You're gonna go clean up?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Cool.
She won't go down a mess.
Just reapply the lipstick. I will say, as you're cleaning yourself out, I do want to touch base with Noelle. Is there anything else that you want to do while you are downstairs playing cards?
In the interest of trying to make connections, if this was a human lady will is interested in flirting, then I will flirt back, absolutely.
Oh shit!
Just to see if there's like any actual interest there.
Oh yeah. She's definitely watching you very intently over the course of the card game.
Okay.
How far do you want to take that?
I think I would indicate that if she's interested in more fun, to
Oh shit!
stop by. Well, I assume there's nowhere we can go here.
You assume.
I assume. I guess. I would indicate like. You know, I could teach you how to read anyone in this game if you're interested in learning.
Are you looking to teach? I did not think one would want to give away their trade secrets so easily.
You have a lot of potential. I can see it.
Can you now? I'll say give me a persuasion check. See if she
Get it,
plays.
Noelle. Get it.
Oh shit,
Lauren's
that's a
cheering
good
you
roll.
on.
I rolled a
From
Lauren's
the
lucky
bathroom.
18, so that's a 29.
God damn.
She's just foaming at the mouth, like, let's go.
I think at that point you definitely would see her blush, and she would just be like, "Would these be private lessons?"
If that's what you prefer.
I might know a place. She'll stand up and make her way back into the foyer towards the right wing of the house.
Sure, I'll follow.
Cool. Yeah. Now she'll lead you to. There are a lot of bedrooms in this villa. It's a big house, so
So
they've
this is like a big empty
they've got
mansion,
rooms.
basically.
The vibe you get is definitely that this is like a mansion that they are either squatting in or took possession of or something, and all the nice furniture, not that you would know where it is, but Lauren would know, it's clearly in Varys' room. The rest of it looks like it's either been moved out or sold or just is gone. So when you get to the guest room, there's a line of guest rooms, and you'll see that there are multiple beds per room, and she'll lead you past like 2 rooms that have people actually sleeping in them
Gotcha.
before you find an empty bedroom that she will fucking just slap a chair up under the door handle and turn to you. And I assume
Yeah, I'll go for it.
this takes place. Yeah, cool. Performance check, then go for it.
Okay. Not my greatest roll. I haven't looked at Noel's performance stat. That's pretty good. 15 total.
15. Okay. Not bad. I'm gonna say she's been drinking a lot tonight. Because it's a 6.
It's more of a one-sided affair.
A little bit. But she has a great time. I think by the end of that, she's definitely just like, so when is going the next lesson? Are you going to be in class for long?
We'll see. Do you know this place pretty well, Daggermore?
I mean, I've been here a few years now.
Maybe you could show me the ins and outs sometime. And afterwards, another lesson.
I think that's a fair trade.
Yeah.
Do you have anywhere else to be tonight?
Unfortunately, I do. Once Opal returns, we have to go elsewhere.
I remember that life. I can't lie. I like this better. If you're looking for a change in work, we could definitely use a face like yours.
I'll keep it in mind.
There is a washroom down the hall next to the kitchen if you are
I
looking
think
to
you
clean
need
it.
it more than I do.
You might be right. So everyone's cleaning up. Lauren, as you are in this bathroom washing up with your passive perception, you would definitely pick up that there are some dried flecks of red around the sink.
It's nail polish.
Nothing serious.
Very distinctive, bloody red color.
Is it recent?
I'd say give me a medicine check.
How red?
Yeah.
Is it dried?
How familiar are you with the
Oh, shit.
colors
Oh,
of dried
man.
blood?
I'm sorry. I'm rolling real good. I just rolled a 19.
We are both knocking it out of the park tonight.
Killing it. Yeah, that looks fresh. Like less than an hour old. Like it's red.
And how long was she in this room?
Less than an hour.
So it would be that this was here before she came in?
Either before or while you were in there. It's recent looking.
I'm gonna look it up.
Nothing on the ceiling.
I'll just give a very quick perusal of the bathroom.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Open the medicine cabinet.
A 5 plus 9, so 14.
14. You'd probably notice a few more drops like on the floor, like at the base of the sink. But beyond that, you're not seeing any other like signs of blood until you turn towards like the pile of towels on the ground, and there's like a faint reddish tinge to one of them that kind of stands out.
Wow. Cool. Blood sacrifice happened earlier. So she's just gonna pretend she saw nothing and walk out the bathroom.
walk out and leave?
Potentially. I think she was going to, before she went into the bathroom, she would say something along the lines like, if you get bored, the next one's free of charge or some shit like that.
Oh shit, okay. And then she sees the blood and is like, oh.
She won't say anything about that, but she'll say that like before she went in there.
Okay. Sure. So what are you doing now that you've investigated the bathroom?
I'm just gonna walk out of the bathroom and leave everything as it was.
Okay, fair enough. You will see Ferris has basically fallen asleep on the bed where you left him.
Stab him.
You know, if I didn't think that could result in both of our deaths.
No, we would die. We would die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. So, heading out?
Yeah.
All right. So you step back out. You see that orc still standing guard outside the door. Finished? Well, you know the way. And he'll just
Okay, thank
gesture
you.
to the stairs.
Do you still have the bottle?
Enjoy the bottle.
It is on the ground next to him, where he remained at his post.
Was any of it drank?
Still shut.
I'm impressed. Okay.
He's got a job. So, heading downstairs, you'll probably bump into each other on the way back towards the main room.
Oh. How'd it
Oh.
go? I could hear.
Great. Where are you coming from?
I was just making friends.
What type of friends?
I'll tell you all about it on the way back.
Yay! I'll tell you about it too. On the way back.
I take this to mean that you're finished. Elisaren has walked up to you from the sitting room. I trust that Varus was satisfied with your work.
Well, he's passed out on the bed, so I'd assume yes.
Well, you're fair. He will hold out a small pouch of coins and drop it into your hand. Derek will see you to the edge of the hold. We may be seeing you again soon, if I hear good things.
Do you know how to reach me?
We can find you. You said you had a room at the Colonial, yes?
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be staying there though.
Well, if you are eager for more business, let us know. You know where to find us.
Did they pay her?
They just dropped a handful of coins into her hand.
Oh. There's a handful. 50.
I can't hear anything. It's frozen.
Well, you guys have wrapped up your business here.
Yeah, we had that.
Derek will make his way from the living room and walk you guys out. On the way out, back towards the edge of the neighborhood, he'll definitely be like, so I definitely misread the situation there. That's on me. My mistake. I probably should have clarified before I set this meeting up. I thought you guys were like the others. You wanted in.
No. I just wanted to bang the hot Triton guy. That's all I wanted.
Gotcha. No, that's fair.
Our interests are drastically more simple than you thought.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people come looking for us, so it's usually because they're looking for war. Anyways, you ladies have a good night. He'll wave you off at the edge of the neighborhood as you make your way back down the quiet, winding streets of Dead Man's Hill, and you are free to depart.
We lived.
We didn't die. Yay.
Well, what do you do now?
probably just swap stories and head back to the inn.
Yeah, you guys will return back to the hotel after a few hours out. Probably like just before midnight by the time you guys wrap up and get back. And back to the room where the rest of the party is sitting and waiting. Or what have you been doing in the time that they've been gone?
I mean, I've just been just doing what I normally do.
Which
Finding
is
a spot to fish. And fishing. I'm a very simple man.
Would you go to the beach or would you go to like the docks to fish?
Beach.
Beach. Okay. I'll say go ahead and give me a. Are you proficient with like fishing tools? I can't remember if that's a thing or
Nope. Oh wait,
Cool.
yes I am.
not. Okay.
I actually am.
So go ahead. We'll do Dex plus proficiency. Give me a roll. See how the fishing
All
is.
right. That is 17.
17. Okay. Wading out into the tide and throwing your line out. It's shallow in the surf, but despite that, there are a few bites over the course of the evening. Very exotic looking fish, some zebrafish, angelfish. At one point, you get something spiny up that you're pretty sure is a lionfish, and you're just like, we're just gonna cut that line.
Yeah.
But overall, things go well. Anyone else?
I'll probably work on my Elvish, and then about 2 hours after, Burberry will, true to their word, message and make sure everything's going okay.
Okay.
Hopefully I didn't interrupt anything.
If you messaged her, Lauren, she would not have replied.
I don't
Probably.
know when that would have been in the night, to be honest.
Yeah.
How late would you have messaged?
I said 2 hours, so
2 hours.
2 hours.
That might have been in the middle of something. Potentially. Either in the middle or just wrapping up.
Well, whoever they messaged
You-
would give an update, probably.
You want me to roll and figure out, like,
Who do you-
randomize it?
No, who are you messaging?
Usually I message Noelle, because she can answer me back
Okay.
True.
if need be. Also, I know Lauren's probably busy, but Noelle might be free.
Sure. So, Noelle, you
Yes.
receive a message.
Do I have to talk to
anything
respond, or is it just mental?
Oh god, that's a question.
I believe it's mental.
You send a short message. Creature hears the message is mine. It just says send. There's a vocal component, but that's not necessarily the message, so it could be mental.
Well, I would be receiving it in my head. So if I just think
Yeah, that's
back,
true.
does it just send back?
Yeah, we could roll it that way.
Okay. Give them an update. Tell them I think we're gonna be okay, and I don't know if we're gonna have learned anything useful, but I haven't talked to Lauren yet, so not sure.
Okay. Well,
Let me head back.
eventually, yeah. You guys will return to the hotel room, reunite the party.
We did it.
We did it.
I am very
Mission
glad you made
accomplished.
it back alive. I was a little worried.
It was not as dangerous as maybe we expected it would be, although we played by all the rules, so...
I had many occasions to do sneaky shit and I didn't. because I valued our lives.
Like what
You
kind
mean
of?
you didn't do anything fun?
Oh, no, that's not what I said.
Oh,
Also,
Lord,
they're
you
all-
never fail to disappoint.
All right, Barry, just sit down. I'll tell you all about it. It
You
was
mean
great.
they never disappoint, or they never fail to disappoint?
No,
Well,
definitely
they're
never
both, actually.
disappoint.
I was like,
Oh,
wait,
right, that is the
'cause
other
the
way
way you
around.
said it makes it so she always disappoints you. And I
It
was like,
depends.
that's not.
It depends on which one of me you're asking.
Oh Lord,
You
you're
didn't learn
always such a
anything?
disappointment.
You never ask any questions about the human sacrificing that we encounter.
Oh yeah, what was the name of the lady that Noah hooked up with?
That would have been Adelina.
Adelina.
I take
Adelina.
it John's just been asleep this entire time.
If that's what you wanted to be doing. I mean, you would have had the evening to do whatever you wanted.
John's just sulking in a corner and nursing a beer.
I can't go to the cool pirate place because I'm not a girl.
Hey, John, take a look at what I caught. And I hold up some of these fish I caught.
Very colorful tropical reef fish.
They're gonna taste good tonight, I hope.
I was gonna say, are you gonna make anything out of it?
Where are you cooking?
I could make a campfire on the beach. I did for a year and a half, didn't I?
Oh, that's true. I was picturing this in the hotel room. You brought them back with
That's
you.
what I thought too.
Yeah.
You just start making a fire in the hotel room.
There could be a furnace in
Wait,
here.
where's everyone sleeping? Because isn't this just like a one-bedroom little hotel room thing?
We were gonna go camping
assume
tonight.
I assume that's what you bought. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Do you guys want to go camping in the woods and then we can come back for a continental breakfast?
That sounds
Sure.
good.
Okay.
All right, guys,
I'm good.
let's go.
So you guys want to leave town?
Yeah, we're gonna bail on this.
Is that what
place.
I'm hearing?
Yeah, we're gonna head out to the forest.
Yep, we're going to the forest. We're gonna go familiarize ourselves with the forest so we can get the fuck out if need be.
Yep,
Okay.
it's important.
So I'll say stick in the main roads and following Bergen's boardwalk to one of the two gates in town. You can go out either the west gate or the storm gate on the east side of town. Which one do you want to take? What direction are we
Is the
going?
east side of town not the water?
It's like, I guess it's like a south-facing harbor that this
Okay,
city's built into.
gotcha.
I mean, the east side is going to basically take you like right up against the coast.
I mean,
So you're gonna be walking
wherever
along
we're more likely to find forest is probably the direction we go. I imagine we wouldn't go closer to the coast.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to see, regardless from anywhere in town. You would need to get out of town to see what that was like. So it's really,
I mean, could we ask? Is there anyone?
yeah, you could ask.
Sure. I would inquire with someone. I don't know if they're guards here, but a local who looks amicable.
I mean, it's midnight. Like taverns are open. People are out drinking, like hanging out on the main street. So you could definitely ask somebody. Let's say you just ask a dragonborn who's just kind of like lingering in the corner, kind of wallflowering.
Yeah.
And he'll kind of raise his brows and just be like, "Forests, you're gonna be heading inland a while for that." What,
How long is a while?
I mean, not much reason to head that direction. Half a day,
Half a day.
day.
It's already midnight.
Damn.
He just kind of gestured to his face. That was my reaction. It's kind of late. First time in Beddingwich.
Yeah, how'd you know?
You're asking about the woods.
Yeah, I know.
Kind
I
of
was
a-
being facetious.
Yeah, kind of a weird question. Now, look, it's not a lot of woods to speak of, truth be told. Like I said, you kind of got to head up towards the mountains for that.
All right, well, I guess we'll just go stay at the Riviera.
Okay.
Because when is the meeting supposed to?
What meeting? There was a meeting?
You guys left a message asking for a meeting.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we don't know.
Do you know? I think maybe after the meeting we try to do it then.
Okay.
So we're in town.
Yeah,
Just
I guess if
because
it's gonna be a
be
walk,
a whole
that's fair.
excursion.
Okay.
So I guess I'll throw down another like 8 gold to keep the room for a couple more days. Just in case.
Okay, that's fine. So you'll have a room at the Riviera. Stay the night.
50 more days.
Anything before bed?
Does Lauren share this blood detail with us?
Yeah, I'll tell. I would probably have told you on the way back about that.
Alright, once we're in the room, then I'd bring it up and like, so I take it he wasn't like bleeding or anything when you saw him last.
No, I don't believe he was. Right, DM?
Nope.
Yep. So I think somebody did a bad job and got.
That is unsettling.
I'm glad I didn't go in there beforehand or I would have left. I'm like, actually...
What are you laughing at?
Well, Cass and posting. This is very silly.
Cass just shit posting the whole night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Opal's a hooker now, apparently, y'all, so... I am genuinely curious if she's gonna get, like, a letter at the Colonial.
Dearest Opal.
This requires your services again. I feel like the next
I
time
would not be
I'm
surprised, to be honest.
So, if there is nothing further tonight, you guys will have your long rest,
Sweet.
unscathed by the night's activities. And you will wake in the morning to a light on your bedroom door.
That's very light.
I'll go and open it.
So we all just like scattered around this one bedroom, or the one bed, like
Lauren
sleeping
was
bags
sleeping in
around it.
Lauren's in the tub, she says.
Lauren's
okay.
in the tub. That frees up some space.
Did she fill the tub? She was sleeping
did.
in water.
She was sleeping in water.
What
It's
floor are we on?
cozy. You're like on, I think, the 3rd floor.
Okay. So we don't have like a crazy view.
No, I mean you're looking out over the city too. You don't have like a beach view.
All right.
So there's a light knock on the door, and opening it, there is a small elvish woman standing there in the bellhop uniform of the hotel, and she has a small piece of paper for you. She says, "This was delivered this morning. I believe it is for you. I have also been told that the Master Pied expects to see you and your party for breakfast. He's agreed to the request that you left yesterday.
Sweet.
So, breakfast.
I'll give
ends
her
at 10.
like I don't know, silver for a tip for bringing the
thank you.
message.
She'll
Thank you.
pocket that and head out.
So Lauren got a note, or that was just the message? Was that Stephen Pye wanted to meet?
Yes,
Okay.
that was the message.
Okay, so there's no actual note for Opal.
Not for Opal, no. You
Okay.
You look down at it, and it is a very hastily scrawled invitation. So roughly written that it's honestly kind of hard to read. And and you kind of see why she felt the need to maybe explain what was happening there, because you're able to make out the word cordially. Something
Spelled
I
with a
did.
J.
Yeah,
Yo, this guy got-
it's not misspelled, but it's definitely like chicken scratch. It's fucking barely legible.
Doctor's note.
But it's something orderly, invited to fists with. You make out the word esteemed very clearly. Even pie.
Is anybody else awake? Because whoever's asleep, Lauren is gonna like go, wakey, wakey, sleepy heads. Time for breakfast.
I'd probably have been asleep.
So this is your warning to be awake.
It's too early. Okay.
Well, you must
Also,
have
I'm
had a
frozen
good
again,
time,
so I'm
Lord. You're
muting. I'm
positively
gonna-
glowing.
Johnny, you dropped out of the call again. Oh, really? We heard you. We heard you.
Yeah, I can't hear nothing.
Damn. Okay. Well, let's take our break here and see if we can maybe troubleshoot a little bit before we resume.
Okay.
So she's to be back at 9:10.
All right. Take a break.
Alrighty.
break.
I heard nothing.
No.
So.
Hey, no, but that's not fair. We didn't roll to figure out who's on top today. I suppose you're right, technically.
This is still glitching.
Actually, I feel like they actually play cards to figure out who's on top. Yes, I win.
Burr, we're gonna have the greatest time. Thank you, Barry, for your support in this matter.
It's my literal support. Yes.
I know. I'll buy you dinner tonight, okay?
Oh no, it's not necessary. But thank you very much. Just make sure it's not enough that he's top. Make it
It's okay.
so he
I
can
know-
stand.
I know
Can
the
hold
perfect
my
amount.
liquor. Oh, can you?
I know the perfect amount. Don't you worry, Burr. I've learned the amount of alcohol you're allowed to have.
Oh, Lauren, I love you.
I love you too, Burr. And Barry, I love you too, Barry.
Nah, it's all right. I can be left out of this equation.
Damn.
Lauren's offended. She's like, Barry, that was hurtful.
Oh no.
Savage.
I mean, I like you, Lauren. I just don't love you. There's a difference. It's a platonic. It's a platonic thing and not a romantic thing.
She looks at Burr all of a sudden like, Burr?
I mean, I don't know what he's making such a big deal out about.
Did Barry just out you, Burr?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
I just don't understand why he put such a heavy emphasis on love.
Fair.
Barry inherited all the heartbreak after the split.
Poor Barry.
Poor Barry, yeah.
It's
All right.
just he doesn't learn how to adapt.
Well, we've been summoned for dinner, for breakfast.
Breakfast.
I admit
Oh
I
wait,
was
dinner for
Noel,
breakfast?
should we like wear?
expecting this.
Should we wear more regular clothes now? After our first day and all the looks.
I don't feel like resewing.
Yeah, I'm committing to this. I don't care.
All right, cool. She'll put on her little. Her little
I don't
fucking
think
hooker
my
outfit,
pirate
apparently.
outfit is as absurd as the DM thinks it is.
I don't think so either, but apparently I'm a hooker now, so.
You're showier than the majority of the pirates you've encountered, for sure.
I have always been a showy person, though. Thank you
I
very
know,
much.
but now it's like skull and crossbone theme, so it's like, you know.
No, she doesn't have skull and crossbones.
I'm fucking with you.
Lord. So tell me, are you a classy hooker, like what, an escort, or are you a hoe?
Oh, Burr, I made 50 gold
Yeah, with
last
the
night.
money she made.
So I'd say I'm like top tier.
Oh, okay. Well, you're the type that. Okay, that's excellent. I always knew you had it in you,
Thank you. You know, if I can make some money.
especially
you know
at night.
You know, they truly wouldn't understand that I was there just to bang this man, and they were just like, "How much you want? How much? How much?" I had no fucking idea. I was originally gonna say 100 gold, and then I was like, maybe too much.
Yeah, that's a significant amount. Like
Yeah,
a very
so-
significant amount.
I mean, I think 50 gold's pretty.
That's also pretty
That's
significant.
also a significant amount.
Good money.
You can just
So-
see Barnaby shaking his head.
Look, I mean, it's completely understandable to me. You see a pillar and you have to climb it.
I do. It's really how it works.
I'm
Especially if the hunk meter
This is
a
just gonna
10
evolve
out of
into sex
10.
talk.
I was gonna say, as they're having this conversation, Noel's gonna walk over to Barnaby and say, "I can't believe you dreamed this, Barnaby. So messed up."
No.
Such a pervert.
You have such a dirty mind,
You're
Barnaby.
so dirty.
Wait, what did Noel say to Barnaby?
I said, "I can't believe you dreamed this."
Oh. You dreamed of Lauren a hooker. What's wrong with you, Barnaby? He's had
Barnaby
fantasies
shoots
he didn't even know
both of you a
about.
look and gets out his whole homemade earplugs and puts them in.
Is this the life you wanted for me to Barnaby? To become a hooker?
Closes his visor.
If I'm a hooker, it's because Barnaby made me one.
Yeah.
I have no control over my free will. The hobgoblin demanded sex.
He's gonna be washing out his brain with soap later.
Oh, I'm never gonna let him live this down. I'm gonna bring it up all the time. Be like, Barnaby, you made me a hooker. Why would you do that?
You don't know what you've started, David.
Something we can all play into.
So you guys will collect yourselves, roasting Barnaby all the way, and eventually make your way down to the dining room, which is a big, beautiful, multi-table
Like 100, man.
spread. Yeah, it's huge
What?
and 2 stories high. They got these
Brownie
big windows.
And,
What's up?
cheese
Clark,
dip.
are you on the phone?
Yeah, yeah.
Placing a food order.
What? No, oh, I forgot I wasn't muted. I was actually telling what I just ordered.
Oh, okay.
I just got it.
He was ordering his breakfast at the table.
That's what I thought. I was like, wait,
I was
what?
ordering dinner for breakfast.
Yeah, so that's what I'm ordering for breakfast in the tavern. I hope they have the cheese dip,
Yeah.
especially the brownie.
Beer cheese.
Yeah, big. So big, wide open windows, looking out over the beach, people milling about all over the place. As you guys approach, Volrouge, the Loxodon girl who was at the reception desk yesterday, will be waiting for you at the entrance, and she'll say, "Mr. Pythe was very intrigued by your request, so he's agreed to meet you. He's in his usual table over there by the window." And she'll lead you over across the dining room to this man.
Can I whisper to Barnaby real quick?
Yeah.
You can probably take the earplugs out. Their attention is diverted significantly.
What?
Are you gonna make me waste suspense ending on this?
Barnaby lifts up his visor. You say something?
Barnaby's just getting the weirdest fucking looks.
Barnaby's walking
in
through a
full fucking
casino in
armor.
full plate.
You'll see. So Burberry's walking next to a Lauren, and he suddenly stops, and there's a second before the whole thing just turns, and he goes,
Tapping the ears.
yeah.
All right. Barnaby takes him out.
So, you are led to the far end of the dining room. There's a number of empty tables surrounding this one, where a single man is currently sitting with a large spread of breakfast in front of him, multiple plates, several glasses of juice. And while recognizable from his portrait, he is definitely a little worse for wear than he appears in his painting. Mr. Pythe is currently wearing this very flamboyant, velvet purple coat that you can see has a number of stains on the lapels already. His face is red and puffy. His hair's kind of a skewed mess. He's got these dark circles under his eyes. And what should be a kempt mustache is very skewed and mashed as he's just been throwing back food. But as you guys approach, he will very, haphazardly wipe his mouth, stand up, throw his arms wide, and say, "So this is the group. Welcome, welcome. Please have a seat. Whatever you'd like to eat, by all means. Don't be afraid to order, Miss Volrouge. If you please pass our orders along to the waitstaff. I'm sure you could handle that, couldn't you, dear? Thank you.
Stephen Pythe, a pleasure to meet you. I'll extend a hand.
A pleasure indeed. He'll extend his hand. Take yours and lower his lips to kiss it.
I am Luna Blackwood. And
Luna Blackwood,
these
a
are my
pleasure.
friends. Opal, 2 pints. Oh boy, what was this?
The shrimp.
Shrimp,
And the shrimp.
and locks. There it is.
Yes. Miss Luna and her very curious friends. You know, when Volrus mentioned that you had checked in asking to meet with me, I was very intrigued. Hungover, albeit, but intrigued. And I had to meet you before I hit the sack. So please have a seat.
Of course.
The best thing for a hangover is more alcohol.
What do you think is in this orange juice, dear?
Can I get one of those?
That's like waking up with a
for the table
screwdriver.
Did you want me to get rid of the hangover?
No, dude, that's half the fun. Oh, listen.
I think he's a masochist.
I'm always sad when you take my hangover away.
An adventurer, dear. I'm a man of action, of the sea, of passions. I'm still a little drunk, I'm sorry. So, Luna and company. You are quite a sight, I must say.
So we've
What
heard.
brings you to Daggermore?
Well, actually, it's got to do with our friend here. I'll gesture over to John. Do you think he looks familiar, Mr. Pythe?
He will very bemusedly look over at John, and just sort of absentmindedly, this is like, well, aren't you just a... Oh my. And he looks at the rest of you expectantly.
I think we're on the same page now.
Yep.
Turns out Locks here has a little bit of interest in seeking out his family.
Does he? Well, I'll be damned. He will like lean in really close, John, like kind of knocking a couple glasses almost over as he does, and just like really start scrutinizing your face. You know, the resemblance is uncanny.
That's what we thought.
So I've been told.
How did you come to figure he and our mutual friends shared a resemblance?
Ooh.
Well, I have been out on these islands for a while. I've heard stories. I've seen the wanted posters before. And,
Vintage, those.
oh yes. And when I saw this guy, something clicked. We got to talking, and well, turns out he's interested in finding out more about his possible parent.
Is that true, big guy? I'll put a hand on your wrist, John. You looking for Daddy?
Lauren's gonna fucking spit orange juice laughing.
I'm more interested in finding out who my mother is, but it seems like I'll have to go through my father to find that out.
Good work, John.
All right. I'll say, go ahead and give me a deception check, Noel,
Okay.
with advantage from the help of the party, since you definitely led the shit out of this.
26.
Steven kind of nods, still looking like very intently at John. Well, I suppose Daddy would know best, wouldn't he?
Opal is just sitting at this table, like almost like praying for someone to give her strength to just not burst out laughing, just like,
Oh, you hear the most god-awful noise from Enter the Code. Like, it's small.
yeah.
You guys can relax. You're welcome to laugh. It's supposed to be funny.
Okay, cool, because I wanted to make a joke and say it. Everyone's looking for a daddy every once
Thank
in a
you.
while.
I thought it was good. I know. The guy here doesn't seem to think so, but you know.
We all gotta look for one day.
No accounting. Listen, I can't say I sympathize with your plight, but I comprehend it, shall we say. Not sure how up to date you are on the hot goss in town, but
Well, all we heard was that if we were looking for this person, we'd find them here. We really don't know much else beyond that.
well, he has been indisposed, shall we say, for a little while now. Not really super keen on visitors, which might be a little difficult.
We're sure that he's very busy, but if you just make a little time for us.
Oh fuck! If I knew what he was up to. No, I might be able to help you here. I don't know if you know this, but he and I, we go way back. Came up together, you know, back in the 10s. He and I got into a lot of shit back then.
I've heard some of the
Before we
rumors.
settled here. Well, I might be able to get you in. I won't lie to you. This is a little extraordinary, if you'll forgive my saying so. I'm honestly still kind of reeling from the revelation.
It's kind of a small world, turns out.
Yeah.
Smaller than you'd think. Look, I feel for you. I want to help you. I feel like this is going to be an event, right? There is the small trouble, granted, of actually vouching for your credentials, shall we say, your trustworthiness in certain circles.
Of course.
Right. So, I think what we can do here, you guys do me a little favor. I say they're cool. We get you guys set up. That sound good? Sound doable? I mean, you guys, fuck, look at y'all. Biggest motherfuckers in the room. I'm sure you're up to anything, really.
Of course. Did you know that one of my life goals was to be cool?
You know, I came here to have a good time, so let's.
You came to the right place, dear.
Yeah, I like to party.
Good. Well, as long as we're all on the same page, that's great. I think we could definitely make something happen. So, tell you what, I have a thing in mind. I'm gonna sleep on this, and I'm gonna get back to you tonight. You're gonna be back here for dinner with me tonight. Okay? I'm gonna have the plan ready and waiting.
Do we get a hint or a sneak peek?
I like sneak peeks.
You're in Dagger
Hold
mode,
on.
guys. We're gonna play some fucking pirate.
Ooh, what type of pirate?
Dress
Are we
for it.
plundering booty?
But you already did that.
Who says I can't do it more?
We'll do some plunder. We'll do some plunder. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I as I said, I need some sleep. I've been up all fucking night. But tonight we are gonna hammer this thing down, and we are gonna fucking we're gonna pirate it up. It's gonna be great.
Mimicking.
What do you say?
I thought I just realized what voice you're mimicking.
What voice am I mimicking? Because I don't know.
Oh, really? Okay. Maybe it's just me. I thought it was Nick Cage.
Can I roll? Can I?
It does have a little. I was thinking Jeff Goldblum, but
Slight Nick Cage, Jeff Goldblum vibes.
I was
Can I
thinking
roll?
it was Lucius.
Can I roll insight on him?
Yeah.
I was thinking of doing that.
I
What
too,
are
just
you
but
what
I
are you
don't-
what are
I
you
don't know
trying to
ask.
determine here?
I am trying to determine if he's being genuine with this offer, or if he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna be so cool, we're gonna be friends, and not being like, these are some shady fuckers. They just bring this guy's fucking kid here all of a sudden, or I don't know. I'm just curious if he
Okay.
has alternate
Ulterior
thoughts.
motive.
Actually,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good idea. Could I join that?
So I rolled a 16 plus 6.
22.
I rolled less than that.
Okay. Lauren, I will say the offer does seem genuine. But there are moments over the course of this conversation where through this sort of jovial, friendly, oh, I'm so hungover bit he's playing. Like there's moments where while you guys are talking, he definitely like cools off like very quickly and like is very intently like watching, and you're getting the same sort of feeling of scrutiny that you got from Varys last night. Like he's definitely sizing you guys up over the course of this conversation.
Gotcha.
But he's also doing his damnedest to fucking play it cool. As cool as Stephen Pyth plays anything. So, yes, but.
What was that? You cut out.
Oh, yes, but effectively he is
Okay.
being genuine, but there is the scrutiny that is there.
Okay. Well,
Okay, cool.
if our offer's on the table, then probably just spend the breakfast chatting, getting to know him a little bit.
Yeah. Ask him what he did last night.
I drank the tap room, my dear, and as always, it was amazing. You should really come by tonight. Honestly, I feel like you would love it.
I have a whole bag dedicated to carrying booze, so probably.
You're my kind of woman. Oh God, no! It is the finest tap room on the island. That I promise you. You and I are going to be besties. So listen, where are you guys from? What's your story?
Oh fuck.
So what do you guys willing to share over the course of this? And what are you looking to learn?
I would probably just make up a story about how we were a group. I mean, I'd sort of keep it in the same vein of our existence, where it's like we're a group that met on the coast and now we're traveling the islands together, and we bumped into John along the way. So just kind of an alternate version of what actually may have
Just
happened.
Vague,
Yeah.
right? On details and avoiding, Okay, fair. I don't know that he would necessarily find that like super sus.
Yeah.
And he's not prying necessarily. He does seem genuinely curious.
Sure.
For his part, Stephen is not modest. And he will launch into lengthy stories at the slightest provocation. The smallest question could wind up being a fucking 10-minute long thing spanning, 2 decades of piracy. What you will learn over the course of the conversation. Stephen Pythe is of the Toure Pythes, wealthy family near Freeport. He was called to the sea to a life of adventure, and he made off with a tiny bit of daddy's money to do it. So, I got a good start on things that way, thankfully. And he'll recount how he and Ranzal, as young men, both sailed under another one of the lords at the island, an elderly hobgoblin, the old man, he calls him, named El Shirog.
Are they friendly? Are they friends?
Oh, no, we go way back. Shirog's a dear, dear friend, mentor, really. He keeps an eye on island security more than anything these days. I'm not really my thing, but it's got to be done, right? So respect where it's due. Randy, meanwhile, has been holed up at home for months now, and he never comes out. It's so sad. Poor guy. I wish he would tell me what was going on there, but he's just like nothing. He's not a damn word out of the bastard. And it's grown very dull. I won't lie. I miss my boy.
Who's been holed up? Did he say?
Ranzal.
Oh, Ranzal. Okay.
He calls him Randy.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he'll probably recount stories of exploits. There is a very famous event that he actually references over the course of this that I think a couple of you might recognize. It was the sack of a Librian city to the north in the Samores, called where is it? Crochile. And Stephen claims that he and Ranzal were responsible for that one, and that was one of the big scores that made their fortunes before they ended up becoming lords on the island.
Is this something I would have heard of, or who would have heard of this in their group?
I'd say give me history checks to anyone who's interested.
Well, my good rolls have ended. That's a 9.
Like history?
Yeah, I rolled a 9, but I don't think +1, so a 10.
I'm good at history. That's a 20.
Oh, 20. Okay. So Burberry's heard of it.
Burberry's heard of everything.
Burberry's a traveler. Burberry's heard of these things. Burberry, you would recognize the sack of Crochile, and that probably makes your blood run a little cold, because everything you've heard about that incident was horrible. A small fleet of pirate ships blockaded this port city to the north, and basically bombarded it with cannon shot until they agreed to turn over half the city treasury. And they held out for about 3 days. A lot of people died. It was extremely destructive incident. And it is one of the most famous incidents of piracy in this part of the world.
And so very productive.
I know, right? I put the down payment for this place down with that money. It was best decision we ever made.
I understand that it was an absolute ton.
Oh,
I imagine it must have been pretty boring for that.
Took us a dozen ships to get it all out of there. A dozen.
And they
didn't
stink?
imagine? They nearly did. Oh.
Noelle, I think you'll start getting whispers one by one of, yeah, that was a complete massacre.
I will join Burberry in feigning excitement at the sound of this. Really, that was you.
Yes, it
Like
was.
I
me
said,
and
small
Randy.
world.
Right? I know. There's just you don't understand. Someday you might. I feel like
I hope
I've got
to someday.
Right? That'd be great.
Get yourselves a ship. All right, get yourselves a crew. Get yourselves another ship, another crew. Where I start getting a fleet together. I'm telling you, the world is your oyster. Anything can be yours. You just have to be willing to reach out and take it.
I think Lauren's gonna go for some flattery and be like, well, hopefully we can be as impressive as you are one day.
My dear, look at you. I'm sure you will be. I'm sure. And yeah, he will continue in that vein, just bragging about past exploits, and eventually growing to such power as to assume rulership of
A casino.
Daggermore.
Oh.
And no, what comes out, I think, is you will probably start to put together that this island is ruled by 7 pirate lords.
Right.
They kind of came into power in the past few decades and have held it since then. And he's one of them. Ranzal's another. El Shrog is another. All of the names that you've heard so far all come up again over the course of the conversation. And he's got a lot of shit to talk about the new guys, Abby and Lazariak. It's like they come in here thinking they're the hottest shit, all right? This fucking odd couple. And they're dumping all this money into the old capital quarter, right? Back in the royal court. And I'm just like, why are you building out there? Why are you renovating all this old garbage? Okay? Build something new. How hard is that? What are you trying to prove? It's just like, God, it's the most ostentatious, bullshit. I'm sorry, I don't mean to go off. It's just they get under my skin so bad.
It's fine. I mean, after all, you know a ton about ostentatious.
I do it right. Am I wrong? He just fucking gestures at the dining room.
No, the gold-plated
Yes,
toilets were perfect.
I thought that was a stroke of genius. It's metal, so it's always cool.
Right.
Yes,
Right?
no, the whole thing is completely resplendent.
It's refreshing every time you sit down, and it never tarnishes.
Nothing like a cold
Okay.
toilet seat. That's what I always say.
Well, we do live in the climate where that is a very nice commodity.
Genuinely, though, right? It gets hot.
I feel like the longer this conversation goes, the gladder that Barry feels like he's on bottom today.
He's just like, God damn.
Because I feel like he'd be telling these stories and Burr keeps getting excited because of all the good things that came out of it for him, but Barry just gets increasingly horrified.
I think Burr and Barry could probably tell over the course of this conversation that Noelle, despite feigning, this enthusiasm, is just getting more and more uncomfortable the longer it goes on. Trying to hold up this facade for so long. But it sounds like we're all kind of on the same page that we're just going to keep feeding his ego until breakfast.
Yeah,
is over.
Lauren will ask about his wildest parties and shit.
Wild parties.
Yeah.
Noelle?
Last night, right? The whole tap room bought it out again, as we do. I should just buy the fucking place at this point. I don't know why I haven't yet. But it was a banger. And I mean, we had music. We had so much alcohol. We had everything you could possibly fucking ask for. Party till the sun came up. On my life. Top 100 Ragers of all time.
That
Easily.
sounds awesome. That
Maybe
sounds
top
nice.
50. I like to party.
I like to party too. You can ask any of these people.
She very much does.
Yeah. Do you not? Do you not party, the rest of you?
Oh, heavens, no, I do. Okay, so imagine with me for a moment.
Best priest, party priest. Up top, across the table.
I'll just air five.
No, he will reach across the table and spill mimosas just to make that high five connection. Somebody will clean that up. Don't worry about it. Excuse me. Napkin. Starts patting the table.
Let me tell you about Washru.
About a what?
Washru, god of partying.
They have gods for that now? Oh, fucking finally.
Yes, party and whiskey.
Honestly, Lauren's gonna like pique interest too because she has not heard of this god of party.
But yes,
She's
no,
like,
okay. Imagine if you will. This you have these great exploits, right? So imagine a beautiful stage, great lighting, right? And the curtain comes up, and all the actors come out playing, of course, the very brave and honorable pirates, if you want to call them that. But everybody is armed with a balloon sword.
Not real swords?
No.
Poisons are fun.
Yes.
Oh
Because
my god,
imagine,
the best play I ever went to, they literally killed each other on stage. It was amazing.
Jesus.
yes, but then afterwards you have to worry about the understudies, how good they
Shit,
are.
they killed each other the next night. It was fine. It was, I swear to God, I have never seen more real emotion in a man's face than in that moment when he's singing his last note. That sword hits. Oh my God, it was divine.
Was this actually a play or was this just like
I think he's talking about an actual play.
He's talking about an actual play.
okay. I just wanted to clarify.
Talk about dedication to the craft.
Oh no, we put a butt to it. They were a rival crew. We wrote them the script and everything. They put on the whole thing.
But yeah, no, I feel like he would tell him about Washru. He'd probably
Washru.
really like Washru.
I think that you pique his interest with the description, but as soon as you start going off, he's immediately like distracted by his own stories that keep coming up, and
Well-
he's just off to the races again. Like getting a word in edgewise with him is not easy.
Oh heavens, no! And it's like I feel like for Washru, it's so in my little thing, Washru is a lawful evil god,
Oh, good.
which is basically like the embodiment of a frat party.
He's halfway there. Yeah.
That does sound right up this guy's alley. Question: how was this? I didn't write it down because I was talking, but how was this guy connected to El Shadar?
El Sharog.
Sharog? What was their,
So El Sharog-
their link?
So Sharog was Pythe and Bloodbeard's captain before they got
Okay.
their own ships. So they kind of came up in piracy under El Sharog. And then after they sort of branched off on their own, they still sailed together, and then eventually they performed the sack of Crochelet.
Gotcha.
We're good. Cool. So Noel, we're good.
Yes, we picked the right Triton to bang.
Yes, we did it.
Well, I think we all know how the rest of this breakfast goes.
Yep.
Sure, yeah. Eventually, Pythe, I mean, he'll hold court for probably another hour and a half if you
So-
let him.
So I feel like after about 15 minutes, the bird's gonna pipe up and go, "Oh, so I hate to eat and run, and I'm sure that they have plenty of other stuff to do. Noel, I heard there's this game called something Hold'em."
Lythor Hold'em.
The tables are open. They're open 24/7. You can head down the left wing. It's right there, right next to the lobby.
Wait,
Do you
what's the
think you
equivalent
could
of
come
Texas?
along?
Dazaxa.
Does Axa
This
Hold'em?
Hexa, that's what it was. Do you think you could spare some time to teach me how to play?
I could. No better place to learn than a casino.
Yes.
Well,
so
I'm
I
gonna go
feel
find a place to drink.
Our bar is also open 24/7.
John would like to go with Lauren to find a drink.
Okay.
Let's go, John.
I'm going to hit the hay. I am bushed. But tonight, dinner.
Yes.
Dinner?
We're in.
Dinner
Good. Yes, dinner.
and
Excellent.
drink.
I'll bring sweet pops.
The fuck?
Well,
Would
see you
like
later.
lunch?
I'll bring booze.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
curious
just- you?
now.
I'll just
Do you
like thrust the squid pop into his hand.
I'll taste it. Oh, fuck y'all. Fucking...
Deep throated.
Daddy needs his electrolytes.
a blunt before I go and be like, this will help ease that headache into sleep.
You are my favorite. You are my favorite person I've met today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
He
Well,
lights that shit up immediately. Just. Oh, yeah. Squid pop. He just fucking starts making his way towards the stairs to go to his place.
Admittedly, I like giving the squid pops to everyone. But like he says that like at a certain distance. Because A, it is a delicious thing from my hometown, and B, I get to watch people suck on things and it's hilarious.
It gets so flimsy when it falls.
Barnaby just
All right,
slowly
John.
pulls down his visor.
Alright, John, let's go get a drink. I need a drink after watching that.
Very much so, yeah.
This guy just gave head to a fucking squid.
Sorry, I cut things a little bit
I
off
mean,
early.
Why
You
would,
didn't
why
seem
would you
comfortable.
find that weird?
Aw, I was doing good.
I appreciate that, Burberry. Just after a while.
Although I actually do want to learn how to play the game.
I can teach you. Just after a while, it gets exhausting to feed into someone's ego like that.
You hear a whisper that says, "Yes, it is. Yes, it is."
You know what? I will teach you to play in Elvish.
Oh wait, no!
Two guards
I
one
guess
stone.
that means we have to do teamwork.
Homework.
No, and like, so you'll like if you speak to Burn Elvish, there will be a really long pause, and he'll answer you, but his accent is terrible.
That's okay. You're getting better.
Like, because it sounds like he's trying to break down each word phonetically, but doesn't actually know what he's saying.
I feel
It's
like
getting there.
I feel like his accent might also be vaguely alien,
Yeah, it's fair.
just because that's who's teaching him.
Yeah.
That's true. So, alien accented Elvish being spoken by someone whose native tongue was what, Draconic?
Draconic. Don't ask me why cats know Draconic, but they did.
Maybe they're just really into dragons. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing after breakfast? What's the plan there? I've heard drinking. I've heard Texas Hold'em.
I will teach
Does Axon hold him?
Burberry, does Axon hold him, and do some Elvish lessons while we play.
Okay. Anybody got anything else?
Oh,
No.
that makes 25 days in Elvish.
Hey, halfway there. Well, if you guys want to while away the day hanging out in the Riviera at the Colonial Hotel.
I
Yes.
actually want to do something.
Oh, what's that?
I want to go to the conclave.
Okay.
I told you I will.
Okay. All right. Yeah. When do you want to go? Who's going with you?
Well, someone wants to go talk to a bunch of tight shirts about things. So I was planning on going to the temple thing here to see what kind of place it is.
I'd go if in the interest of not having people go places alone anymore.
That might be better. Going into a pirate church sounds both highly exciting and a gamble.
It does raise a lot of questions.
Lauren's gonna stay with John and get him drunk.
Okay.
If John will allow me to.
What do you mean allow you to?
Well, you don't drink very often with Lauren, so she's just like, ooh.
Fine,
Drink.
John's going shot for shot with Lauren.
Oh,
Let's
shit.
go.
And John is
Oh,
going to
no.
the
You're
table.
gonna Wait, do they have a big enough stretcher for that?
You know, it's funny when we made it out
John
of
is gonna
that place. I thought we were gonna.
the table.
I thought Lauren would live through this session, but it turns out that's not gonna
She
happen.
dies of alcohol poisoning
Yep.
at a casino.
I die of alcohol poisoning. Would it be John? I'm a practiced drinker.
You
Yes,
are
okay,
like a
yeah.
quarter of his size.
Yeah, I was like, think about this weight and size wise. John's alcohol tolerance is probably like 120% over yours.
All right, hold up. Con save, contest. Let's go.
Con save,
Roll. Best out of 3.
You mean my +7
Okay,
Constitution saves?
Shots.
You could roll 3 nat ones. We don't know.
Okay, I got a +3. Okay, 10 plus 3, so 13. A 17. And a 12. 13, 12, and 17.
12. Okay.
13, 22, and 10.
So tie. John takes round 2. Lauren takes round 3. So that's really, yeah, y'all are fucking like tied. One more. Tiebreaker.
Oh, I rolled a nat 1.
I got 16.
Yeah. Okay. Lauren, you got practice, but John definitely has the mass to absorb this shit.
So
And-
be like, John, I wish I could be as big as you so I can drink more. This is bullshit.
I
Whoever
wonder if
said
your bear
smell is
form could
mighty.
absorb more.
That's a good idea. Wait, I might scare people if I do that. Can I turn into a bear? Will anyone be upset?
Who are you asking?
Oh, she's just kind of yelling in the room.
Hey, bartender, can she turn into a bear?
Please don't turn into a bear, ma'am.
Oh,
It's so fun.
We don't allow pets in the casino.
I'm not a pet. I'm a person.
A bear would be a very big pet.
I'm a very big person when I'm a bear. Thank you.
I'm just imagining a Lauren being a fish in a giant tub of beer.
I'm reconsidering the wisdom of arguing with someone who claims they can turn into a bear. I'm going to go
Oh,
serve
you
these other
don't believe
pigeons.
me? She turns into a bear.
Just knock all these fucking glasses off the bar. He's like, my heavens! All the fucking bar people like around, just like all these gasps.
John's just like, proved you wrong.
I'll pat at John, and I'll be like, oh, and I'll just open my bear mouth.
John
don't-
just pours some beer into Lauren's mouth.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
You pause.
Beer into my mouth, and I'm just like, yes. Let's go.
All these like wealthy-to-do motherfuckers hanging out in the casino are watching, like, oh my god. You see some of the couples start like pulling each other away from the bar, and then there's one guy at the far end that's like, yeah, drink.
So I was like, yeah.
The bartender's just like, god damn it. Just start to clean up all the broken glass.
Okay,
So,
I'm done. That was my bit. That's all. That's all I had.
all right. So, Burberry and Noel, after practicing some Dizaks and Hold'em, decided to go look for the Conclave presence in Betting Witch. Asking around, I think you would be directed towards the Royal Quarter, which is an old downtown district on the north side of the Brigands Boardwalk, built in the shadow of that enormous mound out of which that tower is growing. And paying your toll as you step into the neighborhood and walking in, you definitely see this place definitely matches the description you got at breakfast. Very run down and dilapidated buildings surrounded by scaffolding and construction supplies. These places are all under heavy renovation. There is clearly a lot of money being poured into this project all across this part of town. You pass through what looks like an old downtown sort of city square. There's a massive domed sort of capitol building, almost reminiscent of like an Anagardi capitol or city hall off of that square. On the other side of that square, though, is the temple that you will be directed to. What is called around here the Blood Hall.
Sing.
Lovely.
As you approach, the exterior of this temple is much like the rest of the district, very run down, weather-stained stone, tall columns holding up this embankment of stone overhead as you approach the entry, the archway.
Is money
leading
also
inside.
being poured into the temple, or is it...
The temple
the
does
only
not
one
seem to
now?
be receiving any attention.
Okay.
But there are sconces lit alongside the door as well as along the stairs leading up to it. And I'll say that as you're walking up, you will also probably detect the speckled granite here is displaying additional colors unusual to stone of this nature, namely dried flecks of red on every step as one ascends.
It's promising.
Seems to be more gathered towards the center of the stairs, but it is definitely a noticeable detail, departure from the rest of the building's construction. And stepping inside, you are overwhelmed by the smell of like burnt incense. Like it's gone from being like a pleasant fragrance to like an over burned, like charred sort of smell. Alcohol. You could definitely smell old musty ale just hanging in the air. And you can smell blood. Fresh blood. And you can hear the sounds up ahead in the hall, past the annex. Sounds of shouting and objects crashing, cheering, and yelling. Stepping through the annex doors into the main hall, which you would expect to be the worship chamber lined with pews, is instead empty of any furnishings, but is filled with probably about 100 people. The pews are lining the walls. You can see there are kegs that have been set up along those pews, tankards kind of strewn about every which way. And there are 4 individuals surrounded by the majority of this crowd, standing in like a clearing in the center of them, currently having a knockdown, drag-out brawl. And all around them, these people are just cheering, chanting, shouting as the violence unfolds in front of them. Stepping inside, I think, taking this all in.
This is not a church, Burberry.
Oh, it's a church of something. And I look forward to finding out what. And, like, Noel gets a whisper. I have never felt the desire to clean every inch of space so hard in my entire life.
I feel like you could spend a whole lifetime in here and you still wouldn't get all the flecks of blood.
Honestly, when you approach like the center of this hall where everyone's kind of gathered, the floor just has kind of like a permanent, like kind of coppery, stained color. It's not even flecks at that point. It's just like a fucking varnish almost.
So just understand, there's not really like any hint of actual church here, or is
So
it? Or
this is a temple. This is a temple, and I will say that at the far end of the hall, behind this crowd, you will see the altar is still there. This large stone altar at the back of this chamber, and behind the altar there is an idol. Very, very crudely carved idol. You're able to make out a very broad humanoid shape. Looks like a shaved head and a thick beard and a big axe. And that's about as much detail as you can make out on that statue, because it is not pretty.
Noelle, I'm sorry if this goes horribly wrong. I'm gonna cast Calm Emotion.
Okay.
Before you do that, does Burberry recognize the statue, or?
So, given that it is a rough statue, I'll say make a check for me. Give me a religion check.
Okay, that was not great. Slightly more than a 10, with an 11.
It looks like a war god. If what's happening here, if the axe is anything to go by. Trouble is, it's such a crude statue. It is really lacking in the detail you would expect to be like able to identify.
Sure.
It's hard to say. It being a war god does narrow it down a bit. But of those, it would be hard to say which one it actually is.
Fair enough.
And I can get you that list in a second. But with a calm emotion spell that's centered on you.
Actually, I'm gonna center it in the middle of the ring.
Oh, okay. And how big of a radius is that?
Annoyingly large. 6. No, that's the. I'll actually open the sheet.
It's a 30-foot radius?
20-foot radius.
20-foot radius, so 40 feet across. Okay. Calm emotions goes off. God, what is this? What is this?
And the fighters just hug it out.
Make a target indifferent about creatures of your choice that it is hostile towards. Okay, so I assume you're using the second effect, not the charm, fright, and suppression.
Yeah.
Okay. I think there's a moment where nothing really happens. Like, Burberry Incants releases the spell, and for a moment, the cheering and everything continues as normal. And then it starts to die, and you can see through gaps in the crowd that the fighters have sort of frozen mid-melee, and they're kind of looking at each other with this confused expressions on their faces. One of them like scratches their head. They're like looking around.
Excuse me.
Everyone looks at you. All 100 people in this room.
Sorry, you can continue with your bloodshed in like 2 seconds. Could someone direct me towards the head priest?
Over here. You'll hear on the call.
Excellent. Thank you. Drop the spell.
So, you release the spell. They're all still looking at you. And then you see one of the fighters, this kind of stringy, very like wiry looking human man. He kind of like looks around at the other fighters who are still watching you, and then seeing that the Dragonborn closest to him is just not paying attention. He's still so like bewildered about what you just did.
Oh, no. So whenever the spell ends, the creatures become hostile again.
Yeah, I know, but they're
Okay.
still kind of in
Sorry.
shock, just watching you. Like, what the fuck did you just do? The human, meanwhile, sees his opening, turns to the dragonborn, and just fucking boom, haymaker across the face. And then the fight breaks back out as the dragonborn hits the ground, and everyone just kind of piles on, and the cheering resumes. His blood begins to flow again. Making your way around the crowd towards that voice, you will find yourself speaking with a copper dragonborn man. He's got one broken horn on the left side of his head, and a pretty gnarly scar that just kind of like spider webs up from his eye, like over the left side of his scalp towards that broken horn. And that eye is just like milky white. The right side of his face, though, looking pretty normal. He turns to look at you with it and looks down at you and at Noel, and he gives you a little nod. Burberry, it's like, Platinum brother, welcome to the Blood House.
Thank you. I'm actually visiting from the main area, and I'm trying to basically get a lay of the land. It looks like the building hasn't been taken care of in a while. Is that on purpose, or is that a funding thing? Also, I'm Burberry. Nice to meet you.
Alexiros, pleasure to meet you.
How do you spell that?
Alix
Okay.
Iros.
Cool. Alright. Continue the conversation.
Not sure how much you've heard, brother, but the Conclave has, well, not given this temple much thought in quite nearly 2 decades. Ever since the regime change, we've been quite on our own out here. But we're making do, aren't we, boys? And there's just a "ah!" in response from the fighters in the room.
Whatever you said.
I'm guessing you take bets.
Hardly bets. Prestige.
Ooh.
That's all this is for.
Well, I suppose that you don't have much of a library anymore. Yes, that's the answer to my question.
You would be right.
Might I ask who that is? I'll point to the statue.
Supposed to be Beazel. Can't tell.
I think the fact that my friend couldn't tell is,
He needs some work.
So for my knowledge,
Mhm.
about how much would commissioning a statue like that cost?
So we're looking at like a 15-foot tall marble statue.
Mhm.
Thousands of gold pieces, probably.
Okay.
That's money.
Well, that's the reason I'm asking out of character, because like that feels like something that I would know about, like not an exact price range, but like cheap,
You'd have a sense.
actually highly
Yeah.
expensive, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Okay.
is the statue too far gone to be repairable?
So it does not look like it's in disrepair necessarily. It looks like it's just badly carved.
Budget statue.
Yeah, like this looks like it was carved either by like an art student, like as like their first commission, and as like I am not qualified for this, or this was commissioned. This was like like homemade fucking statue. God knows where they got the marble for it, but this could well have just been some guy like, look, can you carve? It's like I work with wood. It's good enough. Get in there, you know. It's just rough. It is really, really rough. Like deep gouging chisel marks. Like no real smoothness. Like badly polished. It's. I don't know. It's. 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 the fact that they even got enough detail that you could pick out a beard and an axe is noteworthy. You know, I will say now that at this angle, kind of standing on the side of the crowd now, so you can kind of see the front and the back of the room at the same time. You can see the base of the statue is just caked in bloody handprints. Like there is like this gradient of like deep umber to like a fading red kind of crawling up like the 6 to 7 feet at the base of the statue.
Jesus.
Well, it is called the Temple of Blood for a reason.
I wouldn't call it a temple anymore. We do just fine with house or hall. Hardly worth calling it more than it is.
And what can I say? I'm old school. Though I have to say, that is a very rousing fight going on. I'm sorry, I stopped it briefly. I just didn't know how to make myself heard for all that.
You know, it was brief enough. I don't think they'll pay it much mind.
Excellent! I don't want to get in the way of any worship. And I put that fully in quotation marks.
It's as much about proving oneself worthy of a decent afterlife as much as it is reverence, so to speak. Basil sets the example. We simply try to live up to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, and I'm sorry to ask this, as you can guess, the conclave is a little bit out of touch with this.
Clearly, so they sent you.
I happen to be in the area, and I happen
to be.
And I have been touring, browsing. It's very interesting seeing all of the different practices of the different temples. Even if it's only marginally a temple.
Pilgrimage, then. Hey.
Yeah. But I can. Could you fill me in on what all happened with this change in regime?
Well, 20 or 30 years back, there was a bit of a disagreement between some of the more prominent members of the underworld around here and the presiding landowners. And disagreement escalated into a bloody, fiery mess, to put it lightly. And what emerged...
coming from the person who purveys a place covered in blood, I imagine that's far worse than I can imagine.
Oh, this place nearly burned down. But, no, what came out of that was the Republic, and that's the Dagamore you see here today. 7 seats at the table, held by 7 pirate lords, and not another voice to speak of. Which Conclave is not terribly keen on investing in, so to say. So, we've been left to pick up the pieces on our own.
All right, and as someone new, I've heard that asking about the forest is strange.
Well, it's a bit of a walk. Not sure why you'd be interested in heading that direction. Nothing out there but Razor Brig, which is not exactly the most welcoming place in the world.
What's a Razor Brig?
Pirate prison.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And have you been the abbot here for the entire time since even before the current owners?
Abbot? No. I was an acolyte during the coup. And the rest of the clergy turned tail and fled. Got off the islands. But I stuck it out. He'll look up at Beazel. I figured I'd owed it to the bastard to stand my grounds. And so far, it's worked out. So.
You'll get a whisper.
Was there anything that you would like to ask Noel?
I am
About the
your
city.
emotional support bard today.
Well, I just meant since this person, like, seems chill enough that we could just ask about random information without showing any hands.
I don't have any specific questions for the conclave at the moment. So no, I guess I'm good. Whatever you want to go ask him, go for it. But if you're out of questions too, then it's fine.
Well, okay. I have two completely unrelated questions to ask. And then I would like to make a small donation towards, maybe getting a ring.
Like a boundary for them to find it.
Would be nice to have something besides chalk.
And that way you wouldn't have to worry about it being washed off by blood.
The blood is homage.
Oh, no. I just meant for the chalk thing. Just, you know.
Mm.
It wouldn't be covered.
Okay, that makes more sense. It's like we don't wash the blood.
We can tell.
So,
Okay, so question one. Is there a place I could buy, like, a clock in town?
check the boardwalk. I'm sure somebody's selling clockwork out there.
Oh wait, make that 3 questions. Is there anywhere that I should absolutely avoid?
Well, Dead Man's Hill is not the most hospitable neighborhood.
Ship has sailed.
You are right.
But of any others, honestly, if you can hold your own, you're generally likely to make do well enough. Stormgate can get a little rowdy, so I'd say be ready to stand your ground there. And yeah, honestly, Dead Man's Hill is the only place I'd say really stay out of. If you don't have any real business up there, you're not likely to leave.
All right. Seeing as I rather like my head on my shoulders, I'll follow that one.
Is there any way to get around the
Wise.
assholes who keep charging us a silver to walk down the pier?
Oh, he didn't give you a discount.
I think we haven't passed him yet, but I'm sure we will.
Those assholes run this city, and some of them are fighting in here, so I would be careful. They'll say somewhat quietly. But if you're looking to dodge the fair, I would say pick your favorite neighborhood and stick to it. Otherwise, you're on your own sneaking back and forth. Good luck.
Fair enough.
And then lastly, the books that used to be here, did they get taken or did they get burned?
Bit of both, I would imagine. Definitely plenty of ashes, half-burned pages when I finally made it back here after everything settled down. But I'm sure a fair bit was looted in all the fighting and rioting as well.
Well, at least it wasn't a total loss of knowledge then. It was just mostly a loss of knowledge.
It was quite literally everything but myself.
Do you think I could borrow you in a different room for a moment?
He'll look back over the fighting.
And
Should be fine for
Oh.
the time being. What is it?
all right, so I'll actually send a whisper to him and go.
I don't really want to flash this much money in front of a large group of people not exactly known for not stealing.
I don't have a word for it. You're catching on. Good call. So, stepping into a side room to
All right.
hand off your donation.
I would like to give this church 250 gold
Oh.
Woo!
to like, and I know it's not enough for like full renovations or anything like that, but hopefully it's enough to at least like, you know, get it organized or at least structurally sound.
It's definitely seen better days, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely like sunlight kind of pouring through holes in the roof, so that's definitely he'll probably point at that. Like, you know, we could probably get the roof redone with that. Thank you.
Yes, of course, and yes, you ring. I would recommend something either wooden or maybe steel.
That is definitely
Raised
something to
portion.
look into.
And also that'll keep exterior people from getting too close from AOE.
That could be half the fun, though.
That
Much
is
of a-
fair. It
Are
does
you much
seem
of a
very
fighter?
exciting. Oh heavens, no! I am. I'm more on the other end of the spectrum. You know, I tend to fix the things that got broken.
Well,
Although I don't think I have enough time in the world for the people there.
they'll heal in time.
Everything does. No. Except for broken clock. That one doesn't heal over time.
Or the roof.
Roof.
I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day, so.
Very true.
Well, is there anything more that I can do for you?
Nope, that was all I wanted. Thank you very much for all of your assistance, and sorry to pull you away from,
Of course.
that.
Happy to help another brother.
Mm-mm.
Walk with purpose, especially here in Beddingwich.
And with pride. To some degree. Don't want to seem like we have swelled heads.
Unless you're looking for a fight.
Unless you're looking for a fight. In which case, come here!
There's always one to be had here.
Okay. So I will bow out and head towards the boardwalk.
Yeah. So the main street that runs through the center of town. Looking for a clock.
I will help them look.
What am I going to charge you for a clock? So I'll say you eventually find a vendor pretty far along once you get back to the boardwalk, kind of back towards the center of town. And it's basically like in the shadow of that barrier. I'm like right up against it. And it is this guy, he's got this stall set up, pretty small little thing and not a lot of signage. But he's set up on these giant ancient stairs that lead up to probably like a 50-foot tall stone archway that is built into the base of this mound. And passing through that archway, you can see there is this dark stonework tunnel. Very distantly, there is a pinprick of light visible at the far end, where it seems to open up. And all around this stonework, there are these like very like rough-hewn etchings of dragons and fire and landscapes. Like it's very worn and lacking a lot of its old detail, very like weather stained. But it is probably like the most intact bit of ruin that you've seen around this part of town. The old.
And this is where the guy has his
fossilized
shop set up?
as well. He's got it. He's one of a few guys who's got like a stall set up like at the base of the steps here.
Is there a lot of foot traffic? Oh, okay, at the base of the steps, gotcha.
Yeah. There's like like a square in front of this this stairway where like a number of businesses have kind of like prime real estate here. And yeah, walking up this guy, it is another Dragonborn, red Dragonborn, and he has this very like well made, understated sort of satin vest with like little gold embroideries on it of like dragon wings, and coming up to him, he's like, "What can I do for you today?"
I'm in an interesting situation where I want to know what time it is, but I can never get a specific time because it's just the time of day. Do you have a clock?
You are in the right place. I have many clocks. Take a look. So, what kind of clock are we looking for? Like a big clock, stopwatch, wristwatch?
I mean, if they have a watch, that'd be great.
He's got a decent amount of clockwork, and you actually see he's got also like little clockwork, like animals and things. And as you're perusing those, he'll also kind of like push the little animals in your face, like, "Would you like also a clockwork squirrel? We throw in half off. What do you think?" He'll like wind it up and set it down, and you'll watch as it actually does kind of like putter around like a real squirrel would, like, you know, pawing around on all fours, standing up to like sniff the air before finally grinding to a stop after about 30 seconds. It's pretty good.
Okay. So first, Noelle's gonna get a whisper and go, "Oh, did you want anything?"
Oh man, Fled, I'm gonna send you a fucking curveball. You ready for this?
Okay.
What? Oh shit.
Do they have a monkey?
No. Fucking hell. There was that. Oh. Okay. Noel's gonna cast sending.
Sending.
To Bert, the child at the orphanage. For John.
Okay. What are you saying to Bert?
I'm gonna say, Bert, it's Noel. Do you remember me? I'm talking to you through magic.
Noel!
What is your favorite animal? You only have 25 words.
You only have 25 words. Oh, jeez. I think he'll probably say, I think raccoons are kind of cool.
Okay.
Wait, no, dogs. Wait. No, raccoons. Raccoons.
Okay.
But also dogs.
If he
Do
has,
you have a dog raccoon?
if he has either of those, I will buy one of the little wind-up ones.
A little wind. Sure, yeah. He's definitely got like a wind-up dog.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
I like how we're all the same wavelength. Because I want to get one for the little girl from Freeport.
Oh.
Oh. Okay. I think the asking price for a clockwork automaton is going to be 500 gold pieces.
It's half off.
The clockwork
With the watch.
toys?
Oh, with the watch.
Oh, Jesus.
So wait, 500 for the toy and the watch?
Yeah. Watch is
Okay.
250. Toy would be 500.
Okay.
Watch is a watch. It does what it always does. But this, he's alive for 30 seconds.
Wait a minute. How much are these toys?
The toys are 500 gold pieces.
500?
Yes.
That's less complicated than the watch.
No. This
It's
thing
way
is like
more
a
complicated.
complicated. This is a complicated clockwork robot thing.
Okay.
You wind it up, and this thing acts like a real ass animal for like 30 seconds until it finally.
Alright, I
freezes
did not budget 500 gold for a fucking gift. Is there like just... I was imagining just like a little like... And then the little like walks.
Oh, like a little
Yeah.
like a fucking Cracker Jack thing.
Yeah.
No, these are like high end.
Does he have anything simple?
Automatons. Oh, you want simpler?
Like something for a child, like a toy.
Kids love dogs. He like winds it up again.
Kids,
It gives us really ratchet. Does not sound like a dog. It's like really bit crushed.
okay, well, it's also like covered in choking hazards. So,
This is true. Children always putting things in their mouths. Okay, what about this? He grabs like a little, like 2-foot long clockwork snake.
all right, how
This
about
one,
this?
you cannot joke.
We're gonna be here for a little bit. How much would it cost you to make a little dog that you could wind up and it walks? To commission you. Something simple.
100 gold piece.
50.
75.
Let me look at the quality of these things. Just glance down at the table.
Give me a perception check.
Jank ass dog. I'm sorry to have derailed your scene there, Burberry.
Oh no, it's totally fine. And you know, you can always buy him a stuffed animal.
That's true.
Or a
16.
wooden mask. 16. So they look kind of rough. There's like gaps in the outer shell so that you can see the clockwork inside, and that's part of the issue. And there's not like a really like detailed etching or anything on there. But when he winds it up and it moves, like it literally moves like a real ass animal until the gears stop moving and it just freezes up. It's uncanny, and there's clearly some magic at play here.
Mm.
But it's hard to say like how much.
My friend, I was not looking to buy any magical items when I walked up to this stall. And if I wanted to get a nice toy for my friend, I could just get a stuffed animal.
Okay. Persuasion check then.
I rolled the minimum. 21.
You buy the watch, you commission the toy is 50. Yes? Deal?
I mean, I was going to buy one of the fancy clockwork animals if you were.
Now that I've insulted this man's business.
Sorry.
No, I'll commission the toy, that's fine.
Do they have a rabbit?
I don't make rabbits. Nobody likes rabbits. You want a rabbit? I make you a rabbit.
Or a small bird?
I have birds. They don't fly, but I have birds.
Would the rabbit cost extra? Since it's a specialty order.
You want children's toy rabbit, or do you want real rabbit?
I'll take
He
it.
points.
It will be one of your lovely rabbits.
See, this one knows.
That being said, so I can pay the 500 with the discount. That's what I can afford. So if the rabbit will cost the same amount as buying one of the toys that are on the table, then I will commission one. If it will cost extra, I will buy one of the ones on the table. To save you the trouble.
It is cost the same.
Alright. How long would it take you to make said rabbit? I'm not sure how long I'll be in town.
You give me 5 days. I have your rabbit.
Are we gonna be here that long?
I don't know. Is that going to be the same for the dog?
This is including dog. I will be done with dog in the afternoon.
I mean, we could have the captain of the ship come pick it up for us if we have to leave, or if he has to leave.
Alright, alright, so I'll go ahead and buy the rabbit.
I will try and come and pick it up in 5 days.
And he starts scrawling, like, on a sheet of paper and saying,
If I don't come in 5 days, I will give you. How much does it cost to mail stuff?
Usually...
like, how
see.
much do you think it would cost to mail something to Freeport?
To Freeport from here, that's a question. I would have to get back to you on that because I don't know the exact distance, but I would assume probably 2 gold
Really breaking the
for
bank.
shipping.
And if I am not here, I will give you 3 gold, which you can keep even if I come to pick it up.
Gracious.
To mail it to Freeport. So a gold for your trouble, and then 2 gold for the actual shipping.
Where in Freeport am I shipping?
The Presidium.
Really?
Yeah, I told someone I'd pick a trinket up from my travels. Not that these are trinkets, as I said, they're lovely, but it's still nice to surprise them.
Under promise, over deliver. I like that. That is a good policy. So the Presidium. Okay. Very interesting. Well, I can have that shipped to you if you are not here in 5 days.
Excellent.
If that is the case, I will need payment up front.
Oh, yes, I was planning on it. Starts
Excellent.
Pulls out his wallet, starts pulling. So yes, I will
Very
purchase.
much.
I will purchase the watch and the toy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and 50 gold too.
Okay. So, Noel, he will take down your tiny dog,
Okay.
and Burberry. The watch is readily available. He's got inventory you can pick from, and as he said, the rabbit will be ready in 5 days.
I don't know how long this adventure is going to be, and it's all uncertain. So I'm just like,
Yeah, that's fair.
We'll
Jesus.
see. Yeah.
I just hope he doesn't just keep it and be like, yeah, I totally mailed it.
Yeah, it's in the mail. What, you did not get it?
You know, also as a
Weird.
as a side note for you, Plet, I kind of hope that the mail system has a similar system to the bank, where they just have like a door that they stick mail in,
That would be very
and
smart.
then they can put it behind the doors of other like areas so that mail grabs their stuff,
That would be
like a sorting center.
the smart thing to do.
Turns
If
out
you're
that
an
technology is
enterprising wizard.
patented though by the bank of Himalar, and they have to wait for the patent to expire.
Yeah.
No, that's just how we'll have the Presidium make money. Is like, okay, here's an idea. It's great.
You just got to build it.
Actually, you know what I might do, just so I don't have to think about it again? I'm gonna do the mailing too. Just have him mail the dog toy.
Okay.
And I'll write a little note to Bert.
Okay. Have it mailed to Helmfirth.
Yeah, the orphanage in Helmfirth.
Okay.
Oh,
Interesting.
I will also add the note from your bird friend in the name of the kid.
From your bird friend.
Yeah. I don't think she ever actually asked my name. And
I don't think
just-
she did either. No.
Yeah, so she just saw me with the bird mask.
Just,
Is this
just peeking.
the sister that we never saw at the Presidium? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
While you're writing
The
it,
one that I
Noel's
was
gonna
like,
take the
"Wait."
pencil and just draw a little cotton candy in the corner of the page.
Oh.
How sweet. Well, I will see to it that these are mailed to your friends as soon as they are ready.
Yes. If I don't pick it up.
How much was
Because
the
honestly, if I
mailing?
pick it up, I'll just mail it myself.
2 gold.
2 gold. Okay,
Yeah.
pay it up. Alright.
You know what? I'm glad I'm spending money. I haven't done it in a long time. And it's for a good cause, if a bloody
Clerics
one.
are so self-sufficient. They don't need much.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, I have all these ice pops.
So, Berber, you have acquired a watch.
Oh, yeah, why did you want to watch
Congratulations.
Burberry?
So that way, whenever I ask what time of day it is, I don't get it's mid-afternoon, I get it's 4 o'clock.
Exactly 4:03 and 28 seconds.
need a specific time. I just want like hour times because whenever I hear at dusk, I'm like, okay, so wait, is that like around 6:30 or is that like around 7:30? Because it varies depending on the time of year.
Fair enough.
Well, dusk at this point is about 7.
Cool. But yeah, so
You will learn with your new watch.
All right. I guess we head back to the casino.
Okay.
Also, whenever I say meet me back here in 5 minutes, I can be there exactly in 5 minutes.
True. Yeah, you will find John and a bear sitting at the bar.
Oh no.
You know, I don't know what I expected.
I expected a great time. Can I have one of those?
You'll hear a whir, and then a drunk bear walking over you.
Was there just like a crowd of people watching this?
No, they are keeping a wide berth.
Okay.
I think at this point, security probably came in to see what was happening. Like after like the first like 15 minutes of the bear sitting at the bar. What would you guys have done to security if you did walk up, or if they did walk up to you?
Just bloody heads all over the crowd.
Just maul them. This is our casino now.
Mr. Pilot's gonna be mad.
If they were getting real, like, what are you doing? Blah blah blah. She'd be like, she'll like turn back into like the little Triton, and it'll be like, you're no fun. Sit back on the bar. If they're very agitated, she'll switch back.
I mean, they definitely walk in perplexed by reports that there is a bear in the casino. I'm sure they're
probably sitting to drinking alcohol.
They probably would have heard, yeah, a girl was drinking and then turned into a bear. What the fuck happened? What's going on? And then it's like, oh, you are a girl. Huh. Just don't do it again, I guess.
But I can't drink as much alcohol if I'm not a bear. And that's good for business for y'all.
Give me a persuasion check.
I guess they didn't bear that in mind.
Okay, 1 second.
That joke didn't bear repeating.
You take 1 psychic damage. A blood vessel pops.
Headache.
That was an 11.
No, that's the last claw.
That was an 11 plus 5.
You take 5 psychic damage. You start to bleed from the nose.
It's okay, you can't tell because the mask is also red.
Yeah. Just like leaks out of the end.
Ugh. That's terrifying.
It's
So what was your persuasion?
11 plus 5.
16?
Yeah.
I think mentioning that, there's one guy who's just kind of like, actually, maybe we should go. One moment, ma'am. Let me confer with my constituents. They'll fucking sidebar for 2 minutes and come back. It's like, just don't break anything else, all right? We don't want to have to come back in here.
You got it. Sorry about that. The bartender didn't believe I could turn into a bear, and that offended me. I like being a bear.
Just mind the glasses.
You got it.
Back to bear. Chair creaks.
No, I did not do that.
I imagine if she knew she was going to turn into a bear, she'd sit on one of John-sized chairs.
I know. I'm fucking with
She'll just turn to John and just be like, they ruined the bear bit. This is bullshit. I'm gonna go lay down.
At this point, yeah, Noelle, Burberry walk in.
John's gonna complain that this bar is not bear zone.
No, my blunderbuss
Wait,
twin.
are you a bear or not? I'm confused.
I don't think I'm a bear
Which
anymore
state
now,
you're
but
in.
this is
I
happening.
love. I really want everyone to imagine she's still a bear, but she doesn't realize it. She's so drunk, so she waddles over towards John.
I'll just give her
That's
scratches
not-
behind the ears.
And then just rainbow barf.
Oh god.
No, no rainbow barf.
No bear barf. That's so much.
No bear barf.
No, it's fine. They're there, friend. Pat.
Lesser restoration.
She morphs back into a Lauren.
Hey, Lauren, now we can go drink more.
Let's go, John. Get drunk again.
Oh
Bullshit.
god.
And Theo's gonna go,
It's fine, because now she's out of bears.
I think she has one more.
And doesn't she have one more?
no, because she said she turned back into a Lauren to talk to the guards to persuade them that she could turn into a bear.
I don't know when that happened.
That happened to it. It's look, loose timeline right now. Low tension today. You're fine.
Okay.
You're fine. You got bear.
Okay, don't worry. I'll be drinking for an hour, resting technically, so I'll get all my bear forms back.
Hey, Lauren, what happens if you turn into a fish and we just fill your tank with beer?
I've done that before. It's sloppy. It's real sloppy.
What do you mean by sloppy?
Oh, you have never seen me obliterated. But I will be obliterated. My friends and I had this idea in the Green
Oh, okay.
Wardens. A lot of us got fucked up. It was bad.
Jesus.
Also, I can't hear anybody. It froze again.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
It's been freezing for the past, hour.
Yeah, I've been watching you blink in and out. Well,
This is the best possible use for lesser restoration. Just
Constantly
stop
curing
the drunk
hangovers.
person from being drunk so that they can get more drunk.
yeah.
You know what? Lauren appreciates that.
Well, when you aren't running from me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, I imagine you guys can kind of while away the next few hours of the afternoon before dinner is served in the dining hall. And you guys will probably be rounded up by one of the hotel attendants. They'll let you know, Mr. Pye is looking for you all. So if you'll please join me for dinner, we'll be on our way. And sure enough, back at his corner table, you will find him as the wait staff is sort of lining up with these silver platters, setting places for everyone. And seeing him now, he looks much more refreshed. Looks like he's probably put some ice over his eyes and given himself a nice thorough bath. Much closer to the portrait in his appearance now, although he is still very just red complected in comparison. That's
I
not
have-
going away
I
anytime
have two
soon.
questions.
Yeah.
One, on a scale of 1 to 10, how drunk is a Lauren?
That's a great question.
And John.
I was honestly about to ask John to give me a piggyback ride into the dining room.
Well, but remember, John's also been drinking, so how drunk is John?
Exactly.
That's true. All right, one final con save from you guys just to see.
Let's see, how drunk is John?
10 plus 3.
And then second question, which is vaguely unrelated, how much money does a Lauren spend on alcohol per session?
John got a non-natural 20 Constitution save.
Okay, so John's functional. Lauren is bordering on unfunctional. We're riding that line right now.
Cool. I still ask John, my guy. Give me a piggyback ride.
I give her a piggyback ride.
Yes.
But,
Wait,
but I,
can she
but
wrap
I-
around his back, or does her feet just dangle off the back?
She's
but I
just
Probably
totally, but I totally don't notice any low-hanging beams.
oh, you're on her shoulder. She's on your shoulders.
Yep.
So you just boom on the doorway as she walks through.
I'll be like, oh, John! Look!
There's definitely some diners in here like watching you guys as this unfolds. Stephen meanwhile is just like, my friends, welcome back. Thank you. Hello. Please have a seat.
As you can tell, some of us have been enjoying your facilities a lot.
Looks like it. Well, good news. We have a plan. He's got a wad of papers in his hands, and as you all sit down at the table, he will sort of unfurl them, and among them you will see a number of fucking roughly written notes, chicken scratch, some really just janky, disproportionate looking maps and hand-drawn blueprints. We're gonna rob my buddy, Mr. Segan. It's gonna be great.
Do you recognize that name?
Another pirate lord?
That is another pirate lord, Hinmore Segan.
Yep.
And
John leans in.
we'll pick up there next time.
John leans in. Do we get to blow anything up?
Would you?
Can we blow stuff up?
Can we?
I like blowing shit up.
For the first time since he's been here, John gets a big old grin.
Oh, you're
No.
definitely Randy's kid. So,
All right.
we'll leave off there. We'll pick up next time.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Did Lauren get a letter? Or did Opal get a letter? I'm genuinely curious. She's just at the bar. They're like, this was
Nothing waiting for you at reception today.
cute. No worries. I was just curious.
I feel like I should have a lot of questions. Like, if we steal from a pirate lord, how screwed are we? Do we ever get to show our faces again?
You're not stealing from a pirate lord. We're stealing from a pirate lord. All right.
Okay, so it's since another pirate lord is commanding it, it's less.
Listen, it's gonna be like a bit. It's not even gonna be like a big thing. But this gets this-
Since Nick Cage is directing
This is also out of character, by the way. I'm not saying this is burglary.
It's gonna be great. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. We're gonna have a great time. You guys can blow stuff up if you want. That'd be even better.
Since Nick Cage is directing this, it's gonna be like a national treasure hunt.
Fuck yeah.
Puzzles and car chases and explosions.
Alrighty. So, everybody will get an RP point, and then MVP. Who are we voting?
I picked Burberry.
Aw. Thanks.
That sounds good to me.
Sure, I'll vote Burberry.
That's 3. Bubbly.
I was gonna vote for Lauren for daring to sleep with a pirate.
A bold play.
You know,
That could have gone so much worse.
Good thing we only
Yeah,
rolled
I was-
fucking 18.
Jesus.
I just kept rolling good, and I'm like, we're not gonna push the luck
Yeah,
of these good rolls.
good call. I
I'm getting a roll
I only wish you had looked at the towel. I was very curious, but it's probably for the best you didn't.
Yeah. I was like, I really wanted to, but I didn't know if he was asleep or not, and then I wouldn't know if he would notice that I was fucking with towels or some shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not.
You left no trace.
Maybe if I went there again, I might be a bit more ballsy.
I have a feeling you're going to have to.
You gotta go back?
Well, I don't know. After the experience you gave him, you might request her specifically.